Oh shit, where's my camera? Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is No Camera Tonight. Yes, I'll get this thing started. The camera's there. Apparently it's not on, but it should be at this point, and I'll have to figure this out. I thought everything was all set. But hey, it's a crazy day, folks. We've got UFO disclosure. Really coming? I can't still believe this shit. So let me go ahead, let that run, and I'll be right back as the intro plays.
I'm kind of amazed by a lot of things that's happening like the past few days. Are you amazed, Patrick? Are you amazed, Daryl?
Nick, hey Nick, we're on the air. Just wait. We can talk about when they're there. All right, I want to welcome in our audience. Who the heck do we have out there? I'll do this quick and just ramble off a couple names. Yeah, I forgot to turn the camera on, folks. It's one of those days. Who's out there in the audience? We've got Amiga Rules, Banana Bowie's out there, along with Brian Pemble. Brains is out there. Cap Case 777, Joe Garrison, Dan Larev, Drone Shots is out there. Fractal Friend, Jericho, Kathy, King Ass Sporty is out there. Corellis, Lindy Walk. We've got, let's see, Megan Betts. Mr. Joey B's out there, along with Ms. Cuss out in the audience. Good to see everybody. Nate Shade's out there, along with PC Anderson, Sam, Scooby Dooby Gooby, Shinobi's out there, Steve C, Super Unknown. We got Steve C and the usual suspects and Truth Seeker. And rounding everything up, we've got Verdictus 22. How about that? All I can say is, folks, all right, let's do this. Get into the audience, get across. All I can say at this point, folks, is holy shit, this is a day that, well, as of just last week or last show, we asked the audience, what do you think? Is Trump going to give us UFO disclosure? Is he going to disclose? And 80% of our audience at that time said no. It's not going to happen. I said, okay, I'll go with the audience, but tell you what, I'll stay in the middle because you never know where it's going to go. Wow, to think all this started with Obama last week going ahead and announcing and saying that, hey, aliens are real. And I listened to all the different clips of what Obama said in the past. He's never gone that far. Coming back by the next day when he went and did a walk back on it. And that's why we had our last show with beautiful Susan Goff on there. Where is those beautiful eyes looking at us? There we go. You know, basically getting Obama to do the walk back. But today, after a gaggle where Trump went and basically admitted that in a short gaggle when he was flying down on Air Force One, going down to give a speech on the economy down in Georgia, he came out. Let's play this one first, and then we'll give you the news of the tweet that just came out for him. So on that, let me go ahead and jump into, where did it go? Video full. All right, let's go ahead and find this. Let's play this. This is Fox News' Peter Doocy going ahead and asking him about what Obama said. Some interesting things said here, folks. Find that. Come on. There we go. Let's play this. Here we go.
A lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
Well,
he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals.
All right. Following up on the piece, before we get to the panel and talk about this tweet came out from Donald Trump just moments ago. Probably about 20, 30 minutes ago. Let's get into it. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, UFOs and any and all information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. Holy shit. When I heard that, I was in over in space hanging out with Gene. Good to see you, Gene. I know you're out there somewhere. Gene Sticko. And that was crazy when you brought that up. I was not expecting this at this time. Were you?
No, I mean, I was, as we were on that space, I was chatting with our buddy Whistling Mike, and I think I just said to him, "Well, I'm going to give it a couple of days to stew. Let's see what the reactions are." Even as you heard, even within that space, I like to try and be the voice of reason sometimes, and guardrails, and let's temper expectations and all the rest. And then I opened up X on my lap on my iPad, and that was the first thing that popped up, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's on."
Yeah, the audio feedback is my problem. I had it a little too loud here in the studio. Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't expect it. After we got the news in the gaggle today, him actually addressing it. But there were some key statements he had made there with regards to basically admitting that Obama had violated and released classified information, basically made a national security incident by making that statement in that live stream or in that recorded live stream.
The words were interesting. Right. And then when you go back, and that's what we were doing early on in that space, I think before you would join, we were having that discussion, of exactly what classified information is. Right. And that understanding that because something is classified is not an indication that it's true, that, even the statement he made about it not being at Area 51, if that were true, maybe it's the fact that he took that off the board. Maybe that's the part that was classified. So, we were breaking that down.
Right.
I thought there was a lot of nuance in what he was saying as far as, and repeating as far as the legal aspects of it. And by him sort of using declassification as a lever of political favor, does that set any precedent? Does that create any openings for whistleblowers, in an interim period? And now the whole game board's changed. Yeah.
All with one little tweet that came out there to go ahead and get us. Actually, but it's just been building up. And the good thing about this is, as I brought up earlier before the show, is now we have, for the longest time, well, we've seen this for a while. If Trump were to bring this up based on the vitriol and the hate that's out there, almost 50% of the American people aren't going to believe a thing that he said, even if he brought it out and they're saying, "Oh, you're just doing this to go ahead and distract because you're a CM and you're in the Epstein files and all this kind of stuff. You're a horrible person." But Obama said it first, and stated eloquently, and can get buy-in now, because now we have Obama on one side and we've got Trump on the other. Do you think this was set up potentially, Gene?
Well, we gotta pull the yolks back to 100,000 feet and try and look at everything holistically, and the rollout of all of this, which really began with those with the rumors of a July disclosure speech having been written, and that's been circulating and stewing some time. And as I've said on here many times, I was always of the opinion of the timing of it would be important, that whoever is the disclosure president needs it as a political win. And then you have what happens with Obama. Now, the interesting thing about that, again, nuance that I don't think people, have a big appreciation for, is that when you're a former president, even a former president, never mind a current president, going on some kind of chat show or podcast, those questions are negotiated and massaged for months.
Yeah, of course.
Before you appear.
And that would explain why there was no follow-up questions on it, right?
Well, exactly. And again, on the space, some people are like, well, why? Because if you are, unless you're a David Muir, unless you're, Walter Cronkite in the day, you don't get away with going off script when you're interviewing a president and ever get a presidential interview again. So you stay on there. So there was time for Obama to consider how he was going to respond during that lightning round and what he wanted to say. And, nothing happens in isolation in politics. So I would lean more towards the idea that he had advanced knowledge of the accuracy of a Trump disclosure. And so then the politics come into play. So did he see it as an opportunity, thinking, well, in July, if Trump's going to say this, then the Dems can claim a victory and say, remember, it was Obama that said it first. And then we have the next day, the walk back, which again probably happened between PR teams trying to massage that.
Was it the PR teams, or it could have been possibly someone like Susan Goffin saying, hey, we've got an incident happen here where national security popped out, and you know what, we've got to shut this down.
Well, and we've got El Paso that's happened in the periphery of all of this as well.
Right.
So again, a lot of pieces moving around the board. I heard in a space earlier today, I was in with Science Bob and Jason Sands, and they were saying that they were surprised their security clearances had suddenly been opened up. So they had been experiencing similar things like
opened up as far as what way, given more security or security reduced?
Then the pauses, the negative comments involving and the delays involving their security clearances were all swept away. And that was earlier today. They were talking about it. And so we were, again, considering that as a signal of some sort of movement. Then the Trump piece happens this afternoon. So, perhaps behind the scenes, this has all been, massaged and reorganized. Is the timing exactly what they, wanted it to be? As you said, the criticisms are going to come out. It's a distraction from Epstein. If we take action in Iran this weekend, as is highly rumored and speculated, it's just a distraction for that. So there's a long road ahead. There's a lot of fighting that's going to go on. There's going to be a lot of political posturing from states, blue states, that want answers about drones, back last year in December. And so now this all has to come together in whatever they call this executive committee. But it's the smart move. It's something I said after the age of disclosure came out,
right?
That Trump's only avenue is to get something bipartisan together, to give him the credibility of what does get declassified. Yeah. So long road ahead.
Yeah, everyone has been saying, Trump, you need to go ahead and declassify this. So go down in his history as a president who actually released all the information, and how his ego just potentially feeds into it. And Daryl, let's hear what you have to say. Then I'll play the clip again of what Obama said just last week.
Yeah, no, what I was just going to say was, I don't know if you remember back on Monday, but I said, I wonder who in the press will have any balls to say anything to Trump about this. And there was a guy, Mike Harder from Newsmax, who asked Caroline Levitt, what does Trump think about aliens, and the comment. So I'm just giving some props here to the fact that somebody actually did stand up and ask the question. He was the only person. So contributing to the heat of this, I would go give some props to Mike Harder.
If I remember right, on the last press conference, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday this week, There was a question asked by a reporter who just came back from Ash Wednesday services, asked about the statement of Obama. And Carolyn was kind of really nice and cordial, didn't do the whole roll your eyes, smirk, aliens, ha, ha, ha. And she's like, well, we'll have to see.
Well, that was Mike Harder. And he mentioned that Lara Trump
Yeah.
mentioned something about this pre-written speech. And she said, oh, well, I'll have to check with the White House speechwriters. Jokingly. So anyway, the fact that it was raised by this guy is a credit to at least one person in the press.
And thank God for Peter Doocy today to go ahead and ask that question from Fox News, believe it or not.
And you know, not ironically, both of these guys, if you look at their history, they're pro-Trump. Both of those guys.
Oh, yeah, of course. But at least the questions are being asked. We're getting the answers we potentially want to hear. Now, the delivery is always the thing we get disappointed with. But before we get to that point of the conversation, we start running some surveys. Let's go ahead and play this clip of Obama again really quick here for us to see how we got to this particular point. All right, here we go.
It is my honor to be joined by the 44th President of the United States, Barack
Obama. Shit, wait a minute. That is the wrong one. That's the one that's way too long. Here we go. I've got the right one now. It was played on C-SPAN, but it's good enough. I think this should work.
I don't want us to simply duplicate the behavior of the other side.
No, this isn't it. Damn it. All right. I'll find it in a second. Apparently, I thought I had the right freaking movie. Let's try. Is this the one, maybe? Okay, I've got it. No, I don't have it. Okay. Oh, give me a second. I'll find it, everybody. It's one of those days. That's what I do for starting a show without preparing for it. Let's get to this.
While you're looking that up, can I just ask Jean, how is Nat doing?
She's good, getting back in fighting form. You know, we're over the worst of it, I think. And yeah, every day is better.
That's awesome, man. Prayers answered.
Thank you. Absolutely. And yeah, she certainly feels
I did have it
feels good about this.
Excellent.
You know, I brought it up again in the space. While Thomas is looking for that. You know, I think one of the things we all have to keep in mind and keep some space in our thoughts for, you know, as we're discussing, debating, celebrating, you know, people are going to be looking to take their victory laps, right? Let's get our mind, you know, on the experiencers, on the people currently and in the past who have suffered ridicule, whose lives have been ruined, whose sanity, you know, they question themselves. You know, this is Thomas, you know, included as an experiencer. You know, I think this is an important step for them in whether it's their justice or healing. And I think, you know, we need to, again, as a community, kind of keep space for that as we talk about all this.
Exactly. If it goes that far, let's play this clip. Here we go, folks.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens? There we go. And just tying that into now what Trump said again earlier today, let's play this clip and we'll pause during and talk about it.
Got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
Okay, he gave up. He mentioned. I'm sorry, my audio was not strong enough. He mentioned, what do you call it? Classified information. He's not supposed to do that. That's the first piece. Patrick, yes.
Absolutely. Two quick things. Obama, remember what he said? Unless they were keeping it from the president is a part-time employee. They will not be there for a long time. That was said very much on purpose, the way that it was said. And then there was one more detail in there about it was classified information. You would not have had to have reiterated it's classified information. This is access by denial, where he said, well, I can't say that there is. I can't say there. If you just said that that was classified information, if it was nothing, anyone can say there's aliens, there's no aliens, there's aliens at Area 51. But he specifically said it was classified, whether or not it was there. And that in itself is a statement worth looking into.
Bingo.
I'll shut up and let's continue
All
on.
right. Thank you, sir. Here we go. Let's go to the next piece. We'll pause it again. Let's play it.
Aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
Okay, I can't tell you if they're real or not.
But I can tell you he gave classified information.
Bingo, Mike.
That's what he just said.
Yeah.
That is a very revealing statement by somebody that in the previous sentence said he doesn't know anything about it, but he knows that it's classified. So that's, like being a little bit pregnant. There's no such thing.
Right, but
Either
it
you
also
are or you aren't.
comes down to James Lukatsky when he was told before, what he said before when he was interviewed. This is the guy who was in the OSAP program, the lead of the OSAP program, who has Q clearance. He basically came out. He touched a UFO. If not, he was inside of one. But he said if he was brought in front of Congress or in front of a judge, he would lie because of the implications if he told the truth on that.
He also said that he was legally allowed to lie under oath to Congress or in court.
Bingo.
Due to the national security implications of it. So he has no fear of committing a crime by lying under oath. And, Lukatsky said that if they would have asked him under oath, has he ever heard of or does he know who Dr. James Lukatsky is? He would have said, no, he's never heard of the man.
Right.
So that's another revealing statement. But I have a question.
Yes.
If this statement and the rumor that we've been talking about, that Trump is allegedly going to be making a disclosure statement upcoming this summer in July, what is significant about the month of July? Why would he make that statement after 80 years on that particular month?
Because it's our 250th anniversary of the United States of America, maybe?
Or could it also be that in 1952, the White House was overrun with UFOs, July 12th to July 29th?
Oh,
the same,
right.
That same year? Could it be signifying a connection to that? That's, my assessment of the situation.
July
as
well, 1947.
Yeah. But I think that if this is going to be something disclosed in July, that may be one of the reasons why they're picking that date and that time.
I'd also
It ties
say
in.
there's also a great moment again here for the press to press Caroline Leavitt or him. What was classified that he said? Just tell us that.
Aliens.
No. But somebody needs to say that from his side. What was classified?
Well, I think the clip that Thomas just played, Trump very clearly said that when Obama made that statement, he divulged classified information by saying that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we need some clarification. You know what? I'll just leave it at this. Somebody said the other day, I think it was Pemble or somebody, I've said before, nothing happens in D.C. by accident.
No, it doesn't. I agree. But as far as the clarification you're looking for, Daryl, you're never going to get it. Trump isn't going to clarify that statement. They're going to move on like they usually do until we're ready to hear something from them
You're
officially.
being a real Susan Go right now, Mike.
No, I'm not. I'm just being honest. No.
Oh no.
And I've never been considered an erection killer, so no.
Yeah.
I was getting
All right.
excited until, anyway, no,
Yeah.
You're right. It's crazy. Washington, D.C. is an insane place.
It is, but you know what? You're right to harp on the statement that Trump just made about him stating that statement that Obama made was classified information. Very clear.
Yeah.
There's no mistaking it.
I have to say, though, look at the expression on Carolyn Leavitt's face, who's this press secretary. It's not like it's, oh my God, you're doing this. Are you fucking crazy? She's looking at him with admiration for what he's saying right now. She doesn't roll her eyes. She doesn't do anything. She just watches him, watches the audience and stuff. So it's positive.
But isn't she the one that said that she's scheduled to leave soon?
Well, she's pregnant.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so she is leaving.
So she is glowing.
100%.
All right, let's play a little bit more. Here we go, and we'll stop at the next one. Here we go.
He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it.
Okay.
He made a big mistake.
He took it out of he took it out of classified information, and then he says, let's get back in here a little bit. He's not talking about this now. He's going to talk about Barack personally.
And I never talk about it. A lot of people do.
I never talk about him, but a lot of people do.
No, I think he's talking about aliens.
No. He didn't say. I'm not talking about them. I never really do. He's saying I don't talk about him.
Oh, play that back because I think he's. Yeah, let's do that.
Play it again.
Let me crank up my audio in the studio so I can hear it and everyone can hear the echo. But go ahead.
A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
All right, a little bit further back.
A lot of people believe it. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it.
Is it about it or about him? M. Okay. All right, so it's M. Thank you, Doobie, or Dub.
People do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it?
Believe it.
Yeah, do you believe
it?
Yeah.
The president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying it.
That is Trump. It's like the most important thing is to keep him in trouble.
Yeah. Or no, he's trying to go ahead and keep Obama out of trouble, which is amazing he'd say that. Brian Pemble, your hand is up. Just jump in.
Yeah. It's very interesting that he says that he doesn't believe in it or anything else like that. But if you look in his Truth Social posts, he brings up the terms UAP, UFO. I mean, so either there's somebody that's crafting that message for him, which, if you're not interested in it, why would you have this well-crafted message with all these terms in it, like you've been paying attention?
Yeah.
And number two, Thomas, I just want to let you and Mike know that I sent you both a text message. I apologize during the show, but Pete Hegseth has responded on Twitter with a repost of the president's comments.
Right.
And he used two emojis. One's an alien and one's a salute. So obviously he got the message. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I find that interesting as well.
Oh, God, yeah, an ex-Fox News broadcaster and former military guy. It's good to see. Mike, are you in the back? The other Mike. Eternity of the EBEs. We lose him. We lost him.
I am, Thomas. Thanks so much.
All right.
Well, just a few things. If we want to speed this process up, like Eric Davis has said, and we have to get onto immunity right away. Second, we can talk about amnesty and so forth. And just like Gene was talking about, these things don't happen in a vacuum. So what are they trying to push off the front page right now?
Epstein?
I would say Epstein, yeah.
War in Iran?
I'd say more Epstein right now. And
the collapse of crypto?
Then you go to, hey, I've looked at my financial thing. Eric Weinstein, remember you and I were talking about that?
Oh, yeah.
What was his connection when he was talking about Epstein?
I don't remember. What was it?
He was saying, hey, everybody's being distracted over here about the pedophiles. That's not what this whole thing is about. Patrick, you're shaking your head. Do you agree? You're muted. Well, let me speak for Patrick and myself. Anyway.
I'm sorry, Michael. Yes, no, absolutely. I didn't want to step on your feet. That's why I stayed muted. But no, you're absolutely correct. Gene said it. Nothing happens in a vacuum. And Washington is as scripted as Broadway. We discussed this. It's not often I get to come on anymore due to some stuff going on, but 6 months ago I had said almost identical to this, that the only way that America's going to eat it is if Obama says it first. And if Trump were truly angry with this, we know how this president reacts when he's angry. We haven't seen anyone going knocking down Barack and Michelle's doors saying, "Hey, you let this information out." I mean, this is after the whole Mar-a-Lago raid. You have to remember, this guy has some bitterness left in him that he wants to swing back at. And if he didn't swing back at it, you have to remember this was likely scripted. This entire term that Trump has been in office, if you look at any of his truth socials, he has mentioned Barack Obama 11 times. That's nothing. So the two have almost become buddy in the background. They've played golf together. This is a big thing where the optics of what's happening in the United States are very apparent to the leaders, to the executive branch, to the Defense Department. This is a time that we can unite the country, and this is absolutely, we've always said it, this is a uniting factor. If you could have Barack Obama and Donald Trump both say, yeah, we're going to move forward with this. We owe the people of the United States more truth than we've given them. And I don't see this as a distraction. I see this as truly, finally, after a year and a half, keeping promises, because he realized every promise you break is a vote you lose. And now we're finally on to a point where promises are finally being kept. I know that there's Donald Jr. he put a lot of pressure on him. And it's a conversation that he's been having in other circles that a lot of his friends have been putting pressure on him to have. A lot of that's going to come out in the next 2 months. You're going to see Don Jr. on a lot of podcasts. So, but no, you're absolutely correct. This was plotted, this was planned, and I think that the rollout of the Epstein files was not coincidental to this. I think that a lot of the information that we're about to get, including some upcoming stuff on weapons that we utilize to remove Maduro from office, were going to be disclosed by Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. We use some very intense classified weaponry that we're still not discussing. Trump gave it a cool name. Anyone want to jump in? Remember what he got? The discombobulator is what he called it. And he still will not refer to what type of technology this is. So I like that comment. Life is a parody currently, and man, it was so scripted. Everyone saw this coming a mile away. I think the biggest thing is we don't believe the fact that we all believed that this was exactly how it was going to happen, and this is exactly how it happened. The biggest surprise is we were all right. We've been batting 1,000, guys. We've been batting 1,000. Congratulations to us. Every single person in this back chat, Thomas, I want to thank you guys, because if not for channels like this narrative would have died years ago. It would have been another headline in 2017 with Lou Elizondo, and it would have been pushed to the back pages of Enquirer and Weekly World News. But it's because of people like us that took this serious, people that work in the intelligence world, Gene, Mike, myself, we didn't give up. And when I left the show and I did a lot of stuff, I did get myself in a lot of trouble, but I can tell you it's this effort that we make as citizens, not as the stuff that happens in the background, because every attempt that was ever made in the background has been stifled, shut up. People have been humiliated. They've lost their class. They've lost their jobs over this, and it is a tap dance to make sure that you don't say anything that will get you in trouble, but at the same time to push. So we're there, guys. We are there, and the next 2 months are going to be lit.
Yeah. Just as a quick recap for those who have joined us late, President Donald Trump had put on a statement today after being down in Georgia. Let me get my, let's just change it over to, here we go. Let's get to this and bring, it was bigger the other way. Let's go back to that one. It's larger. All right, here we go. All right, based on the tremendous interest shown, I can make it larger. Here we go. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects, and any and all information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. So this is what brought us all here today. Daryl, your hand is up, my friend. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a housekeeping note. I allowed someone entrance into the back, and I know we want people to participate, but somebody I've never seen before. So just bring your attention to it.
Jay Albertson, blah, 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 Michael, Patrick, Thomas Stewart. Yeah, we're good. I think we're good.
Cade Martin.
Yeah, Cade Martin. Yeah, it's been a while since he's been here, but he's been around here in the past. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, so tremendous day on what's going on. We didn't, imagine any kind of stuff like this to go on. It's always one of those things that you look at and just kind of, wait, I never played the rest of this video. Cade, go ahead.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say hello, and it's good to be back, Thomas, and it's good to hear the great news, guys.
Yeah. It's something I didn't expect it happening. We've all been wanting it for the longest time. And finally, it could be coming. But, military never moves fast, neither does the government. But I guess we're going to have to keep on pushing them like they've been pushing them with the Epstein files to get the truth to be brought out. I wonder if, has Luna said anything about this? Anyone?
She has.
I was curious about this because that seems to be like a double, like, release.
Yeah, Luna Burleson, Mace have all posted statements. As a matter of fact, if you go to Jesse Waters, he had Fetterman live on air when it happened, and they talked about it, and Fetterman just sort of, said, yeah, I'm sure there is something out there.
Let's get the full desktop. Thomas on this one.
And
Let's go.
Chet Gene, as well as Pete Hegseth.
All right, well, let's start with the first one. Let's go with Anna Polina Luna, who's been a promoter on this for the longest time. Thank you, POTUS. As the chairwoman of the task force that investigates these subjects, which should have been Tim Burchett, hint, hint, wink, wink, we are incredibly grateful for you doing this. I look forward to going through all the footage, photos, and reports with the public. Nice. Now, you said Pete Hegseth, right?
Yeah, he basically reposted it with...
Bring it up right now. All right, reposted. There we go. An hour ago. Are you sure? Here we go. Pete Hegseth, in response to Donald Trump's statement, showing the aliens saying, yes, sir. Doing a salute.
I think that's encouraging the way you look at it.
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely, 100%. All right, who else let's take a look for is going to be Tim Burchett. That's how you spell it, right? Burchette?
There's no E in it, Thomas.
There he is. Tim Burchett, Representative Tim Burchett. Let's go down. Let's see if... no, he has not reposted anything on here. Maybe it was his... Did you guys see something from Tim? Or we're just guessing?
Thomas, real quick, 2 weeks ago, they caught him coming down the steps, and they had asked him a few questions about what's going on in Washington. He mentioned, we're still looking to drain the swamp, and, promises made. He was saying all the same stuff. There was a quick question on the alien stuff, and he kind of rolled his eyes and walked away from it. I think it's because he got pushed out because he got too close to the fire.
Well, he got pushed. Well, the biggest problem is he was supposed to be in charge of the Secrets Task Force, and he was looked over for Anna Polina Luna for whatever reason that was.
It was that, and it was also when they were down at Eglin Air Force Base.
Yeah.
When he got pushed out there, and that really sent him a message of there's something that they don't want us to see. He had said that those were his words. Was that if there was nothing there, then why was it that only Matt Gaetz was the only one that was going to be allowed in?
Yep.
And that shortly after that, we saw Gaetz resign.
Exactly. So Tim Burchett said, it's time. Thank you, real Donald Trump. Absolutely. So it's great to see people as part of the administration going ahead and talking about this is someone from the legislator who's giving in there. Same with Anna Polina Luna. We've also seen stuff from Pete Hegseth. So it looks like all, full steam ahead. Michael, your hand is up.
Yeah, just real quick to finish up on that Epstein connection that Eric is trying to hype, which is basically that on the forefront, he thinks there was a tremendous effort by Epstein to penetrate the scientific community. And he really zeroes in on Zorro Ranch. He's like, why Zorro Ranch? Where it's located and so forth. And he thinks it was because it was located not that far away from Los Alamos.
Right. It's also, if you want to call it, located on and even adjacent to ancient sites of if you want to call it Indians or, whoever's been here for a long time ago in that area. So I believe right now there's a big conspiracy going on, and that's not just conspiracy. They're going, and the people who actually own the property are tied to Trammell Crow from the big real estate firm, and they're trying to hide who owns it right now. For whatever reason, it just seems really fishy for what's going on with that location, Mike.
I think it's come out that I think the son of the owner actually works for Trump. It's a side note. But anyway, I thought Eric came up with a really neat side twist on all this. So I would encourage people to go look at his tweets concerning this, not the UFO disclosure necessarily, but the Epstein angle on all this and our scientists.
Yeah. We've always
Thanks,
talked,
Thomas.
Mike, about this is like the Trump card, literally. When you need to distract everything from everybody from everything, you pull out the alien card.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Let's go. Thank you very much. Now, Laura, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got done watching Bryce Zabel's new podcast, The Frequency Sound Light. It's interesting because he said when they were filming Dark Skies, they were approached by Office of Naval Intelligence officer writing down some messages about, we want to disclose, we want you to be a part of it. You got a lot right in your movie, or a series, I should say. That was pretty interesting, but I think a lot of us who know about this already realize that the Navy seemed to be pushing forward, as opposed to the Air Force that was wanting to keep more secrets, making a general. And the thing that concerns me about all this is that Trump assigned this to Secretary of State Rubio. Rubio flies with the breeze. He was in Age of Disclosure, and then he walked it back in that Fox interview. So how much can the Secretary of State keep from the president when it comes to that? If Rubio himself really doesn't want, or if maybe the people around him who influence him don't want things released, how much are we going to get? And what are they going to release? How can they manipulate that? So I think we have to be happy but careful, keep an eye on everyone. And then who is Brett Fetterson? He seemed to be orchestrating a lot of this. Fetterson, Brett.
Okay.
He kind of along with Jay Stratton and that group. I need to know more about Brett because that's curious too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was my comment.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's interesting times to say the least on this. When it's you look back at all the different stuff, disclosure falling down, a lot of people not going ahead and talking about the stuff as far as what's going on out there, and it just seemed to be like dying on the vine. And now we've got a big breath of air to go ahead and push it forward. Now, about the documents and such that we're going to get, it's been stated in the past by Lou Elizondo that it's going to happen, and we're going to get a confirmation of it, but no more. It sounds like Trump is pushing for beyond a confirmation if he's asking all the different parts of the executive branch, hopefully that includes the DOE, to release all their files on it.
Well, I think this is where it becomes, this is where the politics come into play, right?
Yep.
Now the board shifts. We've got midterms coming up, so this obviously becomes a midterms issue, and then we got the 2028 election. So both of those have the opportunity to help create the path for how much comes out, and how exactly this is rolled out. And so, what that plan looks like, who is the person that has the plan that the American public can best digest? Because as I've said before, like drinking through a fire hose when you're new to all of this. And, we've got days ahead of mockery and arguments and everything else. While this community is celebrating, this is really breaking news to probably a majority of the United States, if not the world. We're going to have to see how other nations react. Do other nations begin to do the same thing? Do we see the allies fall in line and similar orders come out?
Will Japan bring out the information? Will the information come out in France? Will it come out from Russia or China or all the different areas? Australia?
Will Putin not want to be outdone and just say, yes, open them all up? And want to beat Trump to the punch. Will Putin want to demonstrate how Russia has been on top of this and is more advanced, perhaps?
But may I ask a question?
Go for it, Thomas.
So maybe it's the ex-military brain in me, but with what's going on with Iran, and then with previously in Venezuela, with the discombobulator, as Trump calls it, could it be because that he knows we have to use some next level weaponry, that he's getting ahead of it now, like coordinating with Obama, so that when it comes out, because it will be documented after we do some crazy stuff there,
right?
That's why they're doing it now.
I mean, I think, when it comes to, and again, I'm prior military myself, right? So you can probably relate to this. If they're talking about this technology, that means it's already obsolete.
Exactly.
The next generation stuff is ready to go. So, do they want to, I think the real question is, do they want to show more of the stuff that's starting to be mothballed? And they're, they've done it in Venezuela, and maybe we get something new in the Iran operation, or would they go so far as to just totally unleash something new in Iran? And I think either scenario is plausible.
I could just see that being the reasoning why they're pushing it at the same time that aren't. I mean, we're setting up the biggest military force we've had since 2003. So it just strikes me that there's a plausible chance that could be the direction why they're going towards it right now.
Well, but if you look, though, we've got a lot of conventional weapons that we've all moved. We moved our fleet of our B-2 bombers, our B-51 bombers, everything that's over there. We have multiple aircraft carriers. We've moved hundreds of tankers for our Air Force and everything all over to up on the border of Iran at this point. So if they are going to play some, new world technology against them, we sure as hell have a huge arsenal of F-16s as well, F-22s, F-35s. It's all over there. Yes, I don't have any sound on this because I'm just kind of playing this in background just so you can see Carolyn Leavitt's expression that she's going on there. There's no rolling of the eyes, nothing going on. It's just... she's at peace with this.
He's definitely at peace with it.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to
excited.
Throw this out here. A narrative you're going to hear tomorrow with 100% accuracy. You're going to hear this. Trump is trying to distract from the Epstein files.
Of course.
Sean Ryan, last night, a guy that I follow, a guy I respect, I'm sure a lot of people in here that are ex-military probably know who Sean Ryan is. He said, aliens? The Epstein files? Come on, man.
Oh, is he? Oh, he must be an Obama lover.
He interviewed Trump.
Okay.
I mean, all I'm saying is that's a narrative you're going to hear tomorrow. And
yeah, that's fine.
The only negative thing I could see from that is that if you can poison all the Democrats against aliens because now Trump's trying to distract with aliens, that may be a thing to think about.
For my next magic trick, I will make all Democrats not believe in aliens. But Obama said it first, so that cancels out anything that Trump would say and outweighs it and brings in the cojones.
It could be the perfect mixture of everything. I
don't get that one. The Epstein files are out. They released them. They're done. They're out now.
Mike, run this for a minute. I'll be right back.
They're already there. They're already out. What more do people want? Like, now it's time to move on to the other shit.
And I don't think we even have to wait till tomorrow, Daryl. It's already starting. Seth Meyers from a few months ago made a joke that one more Epstein file one more Epstein file event, and we're going to hear about aliens.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, Gene, is what about the 50% of this country that didn't vote for Trump? And now they're going to hear this and go, he's just trying to distract. I know that Obama said it first, but now I have a feeling that you're going to have this whole thing. Oh, aliens. Don't talk to me about aliens.
Right. And it would be the same thing if this happened, you know, on the back of a bad jobs report. Patrick, you had something?
Yeah, I was going to ask if I could have a few minutes, about 3 minutes. Is that okay?
Go for it.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So we're going to take a as quick as I can, Reader's Digest version of a deep dive. And we're going to go all the way back to Jack Kennedy, when he had discussed certain things where he had feelings about non-human intelligence and also a specific country in the Middle East that is our biggest ally. Okay.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, sure. But the problem is that we know there's more than 6.5 million files solely on the premise that none of the emails had any information at all about current ongoing trials that he was involved in. Out of 6.5 million files, there were certain things that were obviously left out that we know that the emails were sent. So that's the first thing. Now let's go take our trip through history real quick. The Epstein files are only a small bit of a matter of control through blackmail and propaganda that's been utilized through the Central Intelligence Agencies since its founding. The premise of the Central Intelligence Agency not only is to gather intelligence, but dissuade people from searching for further intelligence beyond what the public is supposed to know within the purview of what's going to maintain civility. Okay, we still on the same page? I'm sorry, I'm talking fast. My wife's telling me I got to go. But so the Epstein files is going to allude to certain things with other files that are going to come out, that this was not the first step in the project, because we have a lot of old money that's going on here, and it's going to take a step-by-step process backwards through time that's going to explain a lot of things that we were very uncomfortable to talk about, going all the way back to the death of Jack Kennedy. We could even go farther back to the Trinity bomb test, July 16th, 1945. There's so many things that tie backwards that it's not a distraction of the Epstein files, but it's to get ahead of information that's going to come out that will make people say anti-Semitic tropes, very, very horrible things, to get ahead of this, because there is a narrative and an optic that needs to be maintained within our Defense Department. So what we're going to see is that this isn't a distraction thereof. This is an explanation of why. This is going to be an explanation of the secrecy. This is going to be an explanation of so many things. So while it is going to take the onus off of the horrible, bad things that the people listed in the Epstein files did, I don't want to go down we all know what they did, okay? It's not a distraction from that, but more of an explanation of this is not new, this has been going on, and the reason that our fear of this collapsing the government is because this is so deep that it's going to hit people where it's going to hit them in their piety.
Well, if I can jump in for a second here, I've got a survey up saying UFO disclosure is only a distraction from the Epstein files. So if you believe that it is only a distraction from the Epstein files, vote it. If not, meaning you think it's for something else, then say or not. So far, we've got a 45 to 56% split at this point, Patrick. It means our audience is kind of right there in the middle.
And that's exactly where we needed the country to be. That's why we had to have Barack Obama say this, and then we had to show some decent civility, as much as we could get from President Trump, for Barack Obama, so that way we could get America on the same page, every American citizen, all 300 plus million of us, to be where we are, so we can admit where the lies were, where the secrecy was, and what we need to start to drain the swamp. Everyone was expecting politics and lock her up and all that malarkey, but in all honesty, I would rather have the truth. If not a single person goes to jail over histrionics of 40 years ago where the victims are already dead, I'm sorry to say it's horrible that it happened, but that's humanity. People get screwed over all the time. But if we can finally right a wrong that's been going on in our country for over 250 years, there's one thing I'd like to bring up in this. In the year 2026, I'm sorry, Thomas.
No, go ahead.
Real quick.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This is our 250th anniversary, the 250th celebration of our country. And one of the things Trump wanted to do was rededicate it to God. One of the things in the Epstein files that was mentioned a lot was Baphomet and Baal and all of these other very dark deities that had to be confronted. Because if we go back to the Indians with the Vimana and the Hindu, if we go back to a lot of the stuff in the Talmud, there's a lot of things that can't be explained without discussing the UFO topic. And I think that this was the easiest way to discredit the satanic, nasty, perverted cults that are following something that they believe is their deity, to which now we can finally explain, not only are these people sick in the head, are they wrong, but here's the truth. look up to the sky, look to the oceans. Here's the truth, but we're going to finally give it to you. I think that's what we're seeing here. This was a plotted, planned, step-by-step procedure. For those that think it's a distraction from the Epstein files, stay on it. Because we only got to here by staying on it. We only got to here by pushing the UFO stuff. We only got to the Epstein stuff by pushing it. So the more we push this, the better information we get, guys. I have to tap out for the night. I love you all. I'll see you on Twitter. But this is friggin' hot. Stay on it. This is awesome. I love you all.
All right, I'm trying to get this to go here. Why is it not letting me do the poll here? There we go. All right. I just went ahead and redid this post. The last survey I did said UFO disclosure is only distraction from the Epstein files, saying, yeah, we believe it. 38% is saying it's a distraction, whereas 62% of our audience said, no, it's not a distraction, it's bringing out the truth. So I redid the survey for everybody. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's see where it goes. We've already got 40 people in. Let's see how many people we can get on this one. Trump bringing out disclosure is bringing out the truth or a distraction from the Epstein files. So far, we have 75% of our audience say it's bringing out the truth. 27% of our audience is saying it's a distraction from the Epstein files. I apologize to the audience for making that last one a little bit not clear. But Michael, we all love Ripley's Believe It or Not, especially when we're talking about the new reptilians from Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael, go ahead.
Just real quick, Thomas, I put in the back chat a link to a tweet from Science Bob. I know Science Bob.
All right.
And I don't think anybody's going to confuse him on being on the far right. So if you look at his tweet real quick, basically he is giving credit to Obama having been up there first.
Oh, God, he absolutely hates Trump.
No, I know that, but look how he phrases it.
That's why I stopped actually following. Actually, based on the stuff I said about him, going against Trump, he actually blocked me. He's never unblocked me, so I feel privileged. Okay, catastrophic disclosure is if they obey. God bless Obama for pissing him off. Well, maybe it was more than just pissing him off. Obama, if he did cross the line and start revealing classified national security information, and Trump was talking about bringing it out, So how do you read this stuff from Science Bob here?
Well, I was just saying, I was trying to get a perspective from the other side. I mean, that's what we were trying to decide. Are they going to say...
Oh, you want me to get a perspective from the other side? I just have to bring up the tweets to that one that you sent earlier today when you brought this to my attention. And I was like, holy, the first part of it. Let me get this here to Mike and Alan. We miss you, Alan, if you're out there somewhere. All right.
Answering for a while, but...
That's fine. Let's go ahead and find this one that you sent earlier today. All right, we got it. Copy the link. Let's go straight to it, unedited. This is the reporter who initially brought this out earlier today. Trump tells reporters Obama gave away classified information on aliens. Then if we look down to here, she talks about what's going on. Let's try hear what when. Let's rig the 28 election. All right. We need audio, video. The subject is okay. This is not the comments. I saw this earlier. He's a weird fella. Maybe Musk, Epstein, doesn't miss. He gave away. Send me the sauce, please. This isn't the one. Maybe. Oh, yeah, they're asking where, when. So this is it. I thought I saw some stuff on here. I saw a bunch of just people getting into Epstein, talking about the stuff. I call bullshit. Obama could have been like, it was JK, just kidding, or the universe is big now, but Trump saying Obama gave away classified information. He's authenticating the claim. We got that one. Is there a source for the backing it up? Yes, there was. Let me go to the video that was posted. The top of this. Let me go back to that one. And I think it's actually this one here. Okay, so here's the video that we saw. Okay, he took out classified. Maybe get him in trouble for declassifying it. People going again that exchange. Okay, the wild probability. We all want to see the files, the alien files, please. Here we go. Not like the big mistake Trump made in taking classified documents and storing them in a bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. So Trump said it, not Obama. Trump will be obsessed with Obama for the rest of his life because a brilliant, dignified black president outdid him in every possible way. I think he's joking about the Mar-a-Lago situation again, where he got in trouble for exposing classified info. Say is the guy who stole classified documents and kept them in his kitchen. Is that information classified? He just confirmed it. Unfortunately, Obama, he's got presidential immunity. Well, yeah, Supreme Court for when they were in office. Was that again Captain Confidential? All right, blaming Obama like they aren't working together. One makes the pass and the other one makes the goal. We've mentioned this here, Mike.
Yes, but my main point was I don't think it's necessarily going to be that knee-jerk reaction like we all think. I think people are going to look at it from the perspective that Obama went first.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we got another one here. It was the Leaning Tower is stupid. It's just going to be the people. He said there was no evidence. How do you classify the absence of something? So, yeah, I guess it's going to be coming from both sides. But I have a feeling that, Sarah, what do you think? Did Obama bringing this out help you see this maybe from a different way?
Did Obama, you asking me if Obama did it first?
By Obama saying this, okay, here's first of all, if Trump were to say this without Obama saying it first, would you have seen this any differently?
Nope. No.
Oh, no. Nice.
I think, I don't know, the way I see it is Obama said something. He got a phone call. He walked it back, and now Trump is going to,
deliver.
Exactly. And yeah, Obama had a chance to disclose when he was president. He never did.
Right.
So did Trump.
That's a fair
Hey,
point.
but you know what? When was the Space Force started? That was started under Trump, wasn't it, Daryl?
Indeed it was.
And I believe we're going to hear in the book coming out soon, Mike D, that Jay Stratton actually briefed Trump on a bunch of things with regards to aliens and UFOs.
Yeah, that should be in the book. And that should be coming out pretty soon now, maybe over the summer.
And when Grush said he was briefing the president,
he was talking about Trump. Yeah. Grush gave the presidential daily briefing to Trump when he was in office. First term.
And I believe also David Grush has mentioned briefing the president as well.
That's who we were just talking about, Grush briefing the president.
But Jay Stratton says Jay Stratton's claiming that as well.
Right. So in his book that should be coming out maybe the end of this summer, that's probably going to be in there.
Yeah.
But it was the first term of Trump that he was the one receiving this information.
Right. And if you remember, we had the statements coming out from John Ratcliffe in the past with Maria Bartiromo of Fox Business. And they were talking about the if you want to call it, he was talking about what we have seen from an intelligence aspect, that we've seen them from satellites. We've seen them with all of their different systems they're beyond our capabilities. So we had, and they tried to bring out disclosure during the last presidency based on the information that came forward, but they ran out of time. Here we're about a year into the presidency, and we got it. It's a start. I'll take it.
I think the UFO that the building was built around was probably the Obama Library, and this is his way of promoting it.
In Chicago? Oh my God. The Empire strikes again. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Gene.
speaking of the promotion, don't forget his production company is doing the Betty and Barney Hill film called White Mountain on Netflix.
Right.
That has
You've been doing that for 4 years.
Right. They've bought the rights for it. They don't have a script that's circulating yet. They have a production deal for it, but there's no pre-production. There's nothing going on with it except them buying the license for the story of Betty and Barney Hill and entering a deal at some time. Rise Up, I think, is the name of their Rise Up Productions, is when they're actually going to bring it out. I'd love to see it.
I better get some funding now.
Gene, what do you think about the fact in Obama's clarifying post that he said there is a low chance of aliens ever making it to Earth, but yet he's bought the Betty and Barney Hill story? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, again, he doesn't write any of that stuff. That is what is negotiated between press offices. And then he just signs off on it that they're happy with it, so he's happy with it.
Yeah.
Why do you think it hasn't been produced? It's been 4 years, I believe.
Again, you know, insider knowledge. You know, understanding the political landscape, perhaps, you know, understanding where this was headed, what the plan was, what the plan might look like, you know, engaging the right times. And like anything, right, he's got to go get funding for it. Not that, you know, he's Obama, so somebody would have thrown him the money for it, but he's gonna be having it thrown at him now instead of having to go out and seek it.
Is Rise Up part of his thing that he's doing? But I think it's something more Michelle's involved in, isn't it?
I think so. You know, fundamentally, it's you know, they look for stories about, again, diversity, equality, the African American journey. Betty and Barney Hill, you know, certainly represents a couple who, at the time, you know, shouldn't be doing anything other than trying to make headlines. And so I'm sure the majority of it is framed around that aspect.
Yeah.
More so that, but you know, it's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the way around.
Oh, absolutely. Talk about a win-win. Oh shit. I think I just crashed. Hold on. OBS just crashed. Force quit. Let me go ahead and do this really quick.
The show is still live.
No, it's
Okay.
all right. We're just about there. All right. Intro silence. We got it. Let's get back to where the hell I just was at. All right, Gene, you were just talking about this. Go ahead, my friend. Was it Gene who was talking?
Well, no, just to reiterate on the Obama Betty Barney Hill story, you know, seeking funding for it is all the easier now. And, you know, it's a win-win in terms of what the company does and the kinds of stories that they look for that represent, you know, the African American story and history of American history.
Yeah.
And now, you know, he's got a sensational angle that people will be all the more interested in.
Right. Because it's one, you know, it's an interracial, it was a time there was an interracial story of what was going on back in those times. Interracial was really huge at that time, not like today. And it's also, you know, very compelling because it deals with UFOs. But just to jump back to it really quick, Trump bringing out UFO out disclosure is, you know, 66% of our audience said bringing out the truth, which is 2/3 of our audience. 34%, there's about a third of our audience, said it's a distraction from the Epstein files, which is a really good sign to go from that point. Michael, you have your hand up. Go ahead. Or is it?
Thanks, Thomas. No, I'm right here. It's interesting that Trump told, you know, formerly it was the DOD, Department of Defense, and now he's saying it's the Department of War. He's told them to go ahead, but we all know we need DOE involved.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I'd really like him to direct them.
You know, what he says, you know, he specifically mentions the Department of War, but he says, and all other agencies and departments.
Right.
But Gene, you know, he's, you know, not that well up on the subject. I, you know, realize that and so forth, but you know, DOE is enfoyable and so forth. So I think, we do need some sort of statement from him saying that.
You know what we're going to possibly need is one of those presidential decrees that he signs for an executive order. We'll probably get that in a signing coming up this week. Can't wait for that to happen.
Didn't they already do that with the disclosure?
Not for UFOs, though.
The Secrets Act?
No, the Secrets Act did not include UFOs. It included, I believe, Epstein, and included JFK, RFK, and some other stuff, but they never got a decree that actually specifically mentioned UFOs yet. I could be wrong, but I may be right.
I think it was the fifth one on the list. It's like the last thing.
But either way, if we're on the way. And just for the audience, we have a huge audience out there. If you enjoyed the show, what we do here on Disclosure tonight, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up if you can, a like for the show. Why? Because it helps YouTube share this show with more people. More importantly, if you haven't given us a subscribe yet, we'd love to have you as a regular here in Disclosure tonight. We try to bring out the latest things going on. Yeah, sometimes there's not a lot of stuff happening, but looks like there has been a lot of coal thrown in the firebox, Daryl. Expect some steam and some pressure to get this locomotive racing down the tracks. Well, thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that super chat, man. Yes, and I get to go ahead and play the music and say...
Here we go.
Holy cow, we just got our first super chat of the night. Thank you very, very much, Daryl. What am I talking about? Let's shut this down and let's get to it. And where is it at? All right, Daryl just threw out our... Well, actually, we've had two. Our second super chat of the night came from Daryl Zernick. Thank you very much, Daryl. Disclosure Tonight rocks. A $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Another one from someone else in the back. Brian Pemble. Well. Executive branch. Who would have thought? Yes, we've been saying for the longest time, if you want to get the disclosure to happen, it's got to come from the executive branch. We're a fan-funded program. We appreciate everyone's love and support for what we do here. And, all right, let's get back to the story. And I guess this comes back to what the hell I just said, which was, we've been talking about this for a while, Mike, and it seems that, we've said time and time again, the only way we're going to get disclosure is from the executive branch. Even that came recently from Representative Burleson, who was on with frickin' Stephen Greer. Talk about a reputation killer, my God. He even said before, if we're going to get disclosure, it's not going to be from the legislative. It's either going to be from the President of the United States. My camera is down in the back chat. Thank you very much. Here we go. It's going to take the President of the United States or some whistleblower to come out who has a lot of information to actually make it happen. But I think, Daryl, I'm happy with having the President acknowledging it earlier today and then following up to make it happen.
Any more attention to this is a positive thing, 100%. I don't care if it's good or bad. Just the attention is what it needs. And then this is gonna ride on the coming up to that Spielberg movie. So could be a good little tidal wave of excitement for the alien disclosure world.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me turn off that music in the background. Sorry if it's still going on, folks.
It's about normalization, normalizing the issue in the public eye.
Which is that slow drip of disclosure always. You get someone to bring something out, it says a little bit, gets things going. I guess this is in difference to catastrophic disclosure, where they're just going to drop everything all at once without preparing the people that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay with me. I'd actually like to make sure that the toilet paper will still be in the stores and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so slow is good. People still will deliver the mail. That's good with me.
Yeah. You can still go to your local Costco or Walmart or Sam's Club and get all the toilet paper you want, but hurry up, it may be running out. I don't think we're hitting towards COVID times, I tell you that. I hope not.
Yeah.
Oh, God. If I can go to the back panel and say, what are your concerns about this statement? Where do you think this could potentially go wrong?
That people won't believe him unless he shows people the bodies. I think you're still going to have the skeptics and debunkers crying. If they find something, I think they're just going to still find a way to, they want to see the bodies, man. Want to see the bodies.
They want us, in other words, what you're saying is we're tired of the bullshit statements of the trust me bro faction. What you're looking for is kind of like proof, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Michael, you align with the, oh God, we're back to trust me bro again, aren't we?
I just want to put this quick thought out there. We all thought David Grush's testimony was like blowaway territory.
Right.
And I remember texting you, Thomas. I was down there for that. And I said, well, the votes aren't in yet. And by that, I meant, what does the mass media do? And what did they do? They blew it off the front pages. They went with Biden's son's laptop. And
the only time we've had it go to a front page was earlier this year, and it was the USA Today. But that's the only time we've had UFO disclosure on a major newspaper headline ever.
Yeah, so
well, at least in the last part of our history.
What I'm saying is it can get blown off the front headlines very easily.
Hey, I got something for you, Thomas. Sorry to cut you off, Michael. Go ahead and finish. No. I wanted to tell Thomas. I just sent some on Twitter that was interesting.
Okay, yeah, just real quick. So we'll see how the mass media covers it tomorrow. Look at your newspapers, see if there's even some sort of, mention of it any place. And then also, it can get blown off the front headlines by Iran. So there's some things that are on the table that just might wipe it out, and then we're dealing back with the committee again.
Oh, God.
So I hope that's not it, but I'm just saying that there are some things on the table that could become pretty pronounced and brought to the front pretty quickly.
It could be. Jay Albertson, your thoughts?
Yeah, Thomas, I'm actually worried now that since maybe Obama came out with it too soon, Trump was, going to come out with it in the background. Obama comes out with it too soon. Now Trump has to react with this statement. But now he plays his hand and he says he's gonna authorize these people to declassify. So what's gonna happen to the technology is it's gonna fall under a corporate entity, meaning it's gonna fall under somewhere that can't be FOIA'd, can't be looked into, a private entity, private company. They're gonna start moving parts and pieces around because
but there was this.
If they are not for it, if they're on the outside and they're looking at Trump saying we need to keep this for us, they're going to move it.
Now, my memory isn't serving me 100% at this point, but I seem to remember someone talking about this from the government last week or the week before with regards to if we have gone and given this technology to different contractors. And those contractors have gone and figured stuff out, right?
Yeah.
That's our technology. We gave it to them. We paid them for it. And if they're trying to take and use this technology and create derivative products based on that, the United States government and the people of America own the technology, not these contractors. So
No. I understand that, Thomas. But what I'm saying is, what if the military goes and says, okay, they're going to come for the items here at this base. We need to hide them. Where do we hide them? Somewhere it can't be FOIA'd, somewhere that can't look,
But it sounds like if you have Pete Hegseth saying, yes, sir, we're going to give you everything you want about the aliens, it could be from someone else. It could be maybe not the leader, maybe factions inside the military, maybe who are against this.
It's not going to be like the whole military in general saying we're not going to give this to you. No, it's going to be little pieces of it, that are like my precious. We must keep this to ourselves or keep this technology over here away from the public eye.
Or the eyes of Susan.
That's what I'm worried about. That he showed his hand, and now pieces are going to start moving very quickly around. That especially like in Congress. As soon as they said the words "immaculate constellation" in the congressional hearing, as soon as you say that word, all they have to do is change it, and now it's a different program. You're looking for Immaculate Constellation. It's not Immaculate Constellation. It's been changed.
Right. But DOD leadership should be aware of that. And if they have been playing the game of hide the salami or going out and watching the submarine races, hopefully...
We'll see where the chips lie.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's an interesting time, to say the least. Gene Sticko, your hand is up, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Jay, I think that's happened already, right? Again, all the research that I've been doing, that is already the process, that there's recovered materials, they go into private industry for exploitation and development, and then we buy the products that come out of it. So I think I don't think there's anything really to move around. We certainly may have contractors who are tenants of bases and installations, and there are rules and agreements about, again, what interactions can happen and who has access to what, and what is classified or labeled as intellectual and proprietary information. Again, when I started this journey, I said that's going to be one of the IP firewall, the corporate IP firewall is going to be one of the big hurdles to overcome. But I think the path is there, at least in what I'm seeing, looking at stuff over the last 40 years, where what is in the inventory now may look exotic, but it's ours and it's the origins. And this is all going to go back to the origin story and tracking these things back to the start and where it came from. And I would imagine this process and the rollout of it is going to be looking at everything within the groupings of historical periods. I think the risk of the shell game jeopardizing anything coming out is relatively low in comparison to the challenges that are naturally there by the intellectual property firewall.
Yeah. What I really like about this is we've got the, like it was talked before, we've got the pitch from Obama to go ahead and get Trump to go ahead and talk about it. And Trump takes it and hits it out of the park potentially to go ahead and bring us what we've been looking for the longest time. Talking about that really quick, I just want to go ahead and thank a bunch of people who threw some super chats our way. If I can take a look at this for a second and go ahead and thank you all for the support of what we've been doing here. We had the first two that came in. Mr. Catfish 2100, disclosure around the corner. Thanks, Thomas and the DT family. Next, Anonymous Rex, also known as Tim Senor, saying, this is this is the day of the arrest of the Lizard Prince. Oh, you mean Prince Andrew from the UK was arrested today. And no, this is not a cover-up to go ahead and deal with Andrew. No coincidence on this one. Let's go to Brian Pemble again. The toothpaste is all over the countertop. No need to politicize the flavor of the toothpaste. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. Absolutely. We always talk about what's been going on for a while as far as the Air Force trying to go ahead and put the toothpaste back in the tube. And they did a phenomenal job until today. The next one we have coming in is from DEFCON 1 Sky King Chandler, $20. Thank you very much. And also pre-death lobby. Great coverage as usual. Let's go UFO. Gene, wow.
Just incredible. I mean, it's it's a step in the right direction. I think a lot of people, again, are cautious, if not downright skeptical of what is going to come out of it. But, it is progress. It is now the Oval Office acknowledging that these things exist, that there is information that is embedded throughout the government, Perhaps it emboldens other whistleblowers to come forward, whether they're actively serving or people who have been sitting on this information for years, sitting on the stories, families who perhaps have physical evidence, photographs of some kind.
Right.
And, they were fearful of bringing it forward. They might be, ready to share it with their local news tomorrow.
One of the biggest problems they've seen out of this before, it's been talked about many times, that if they do bring out too much information, it could implicate the United States government and different military contractors who have been given access to this technology, which has given them competitive advantages to deliver the tech the United States government wants, but their competitors couldn't get it, and those competitors may have failed. They may have bankrupted their funds or from the investors, from their retirement accounts and everything. So this is, experiencers aside, that's a whole nother ball of wax. From the financial aspect and liabilities, it's huge if they go beyond just saying, yeah, it's real.
Yeah. And to your earlier point, we've talked about it before, that, the U.S. taxpayer has funded the military operations that have gone out and recovered it. We have funded the contracts for companies to exploit it. We have bought those products as a country from those contractors. If some of it is, what we're using right now in our wireless video and our Bluetooth and our GPS systems, if all of those things have origins that somehow touched or came out of technology, and then we've paid $1,000 for this and $1,000 for that out of our pocket on addition, the question inevitably comes to, what is the where's the return on investment for the taxpayer?
Right. And for the government and everything. Is this stuff we're just willing to give away, or should we be able to claw back on some of the things that have been going on and pull that technology and the research back into the government so we can actually do with it? Because it could also go on, Gene, now. This could actually spur innovation from scientists and other people, because the information, and we've needed this for the longest time, because we've heard that the people who are trying to figure this out hit brick walls, and they have such a small audience of people who can research this stuff. If that comes into play, now we can potentially open the books to greater research and make this the next Manhattan Project to try and figure out some of this technology that we couldn't do before because it was locked down so much.
Absolutely. Even in the work that I'm doing and looking at, there's things that my father-in-law called 22nd century technology that it seems like even now we are close to understanding. We're close to being able to develop the tools and everything that's needed for it. So we might really enter, a new technological revolution that could come out of this. And,
oh my God. Can I say it? We're going to enter a new golden age of technical innovation.
Golden age of technology, dare say.
Oh, I had to use his terms, but it kind of explains where we're going towards.
2026. Just get that on there right now.
There we go. Brian, your hand is up, my friend.
Yeah, I think it said 2025 last time I looked at it, Thomas, but Gene and you are exactly right. And we're going to have some truth and reconciliation on this, whether it be economically or people that literally have been killed by these things. And so if you look at it economically, and I think that's what you and Gene were referring to, what I would propose, and I think that everybody can avail themselves to this, is that these companies pay a certain fine. I mean, that's what's going to happen. They're going to pay a certain fine for getting a competitive advantage on all this technology and everything else. And they're going to say, okay, yeah, sorry, we put you out of business. Sorry, this, that. And that's probably not going to satisfy the general public. But I mean, I don't know any other way to go. You're not going to bankrupt Boeing. You're not going to bankrupt Northrop Grumman or anything else. But there should be a fine that should be distributed to certain aggrieved parties. And perhaps Michael, who's a lawyer, I don't know if he's still on here or not, but
He is.
Probably the way that's probably the way that it's going to have to go. And so you're going to have to, you know, as the disclosure, which appears to be moving along, you know, and as it's grabbed its footing, you know, these agreed parties, as well as, you know, every human on the planet, are going to have to be compensated in some respect.
Reparations for people who were abducted. But what about the upgrade? What about the upgrades we got out of it? Granted, there was a lot of shit that we didn't like, but most people who did get abducted have some positive things out of it. So there's some negative, but it's not like it's all negative. There's a balance between the two. I can recognize that.
Yeah, and now you're not going to, you know, if you're an alien person, we're not going to find them, right? I mean, that's just not going to happen.
I think that is, you know, that's just so far down the road, those discussions and those ideas, and it's so beyond the reach and scope of the general public to even begin to understand and consider. You know, we're going to be, that's a generational issue.
Now, Gene, I would argue that
that's a future president making, you know, a public apology on behalf of the horrible things that were done 100 years ago to early UFO experiencers. I mean, we see it. We see how that plays through our own history of the wrongs that have been committed by the government.
But what if we didn't have a choice? What if either the alien said, we're going to do this, and including you can see it, or we're going to do it anyway and fuck off? You know, it comes down to it. We only, you know, when you're dealing with an intelligence that can control time and space, and the way they can move, how fast they can move, etc., we have absolutely no way to counter any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they could blame us for being a part of it, but the reality was, if they said you can be a part of it and watch it, but you can't say a thing. And if that's the case...
And if I could, roll, Thomas, and Gene, I'm only going to slightly push back, but this show has always been ahead of the curve. And this is one of the things I'm proud of for being here for years with Thomas and everything that we've done, not only in the show and the back chat. We've been years ahead of it, by the way, years. And I think you're right, Gene. This is years down the road. But this is something that's going to have to be addressed at some point. And I think that this show is addressing it now. And I think there's going to have to be some type of, I mean, there's got to be lawyers looking at this right now. Look, Trump does not put out a statement with these particular terms in it. Oh, I don't really care about aliens. I don't really care about it. But he uses UAP. He uses all these terms. He damn well knows that that's on it. Look at his face. He knows he's got the royal flush, if you will.
You see the left side of his mouth raising a little bit as he's talking. I think that's his poker tell, either that or he had a stroke.
No, I don't think he did. But you know, I think at some point it's going to have to come to fruition that, at least on the economic side of things, that these companies that have been given preferential treatment and those that have not, I mean, there's going to be lawsuits.
Right.
We talked about this before. So it's going to have to be something that's going to have to be reconciled.
But the people who were wronged, who have standing to bring that lawsuit, will have to be the ones to bring it. And so, you know, again, if we're talking about stuff that happened in the 40s, 50s, 60s,
or 70s.
Or 70s, and if we're another 30, 25 years from, again, having the full scale and scope, all I'm saying, let's not spin our wheels on who needs to go to jail and who needs to have a payout right now, because it's, you know, let's hope we get the information first
Agreed,
And then
Gene.
let's digest what that
Hey,
information
I
is.
would be happy not have to pay federal taxes for the rest of my life. Granted, it's only going to be about 10 more years or so, not even that much, that I'll be working. But you know what? Hey, that would be one hell of a thing that would make me feel better for the shit that I went through. Yeah. Crazy
Absolutely.
time.
But, again, what history tells us is maybe, you're going to have your name on a wall.
Yeah. And the question is, will someone go look for our name when it gets there? Mike, you've been quiet this whole time. Your thoughts on this whole situation where we're at? You usually have a interesting take that our audience resonates with.
It's been one hell of a conversation since the show started, Thomas. So I've just been letting everybody talk. But they make valid points about this, including all of the topics that we just talked about in regards to if the government has been hiding this information for 80 years plus and then contracted it out to various private contractors. Is the government going to take responsibility for the private contractors for that liability? Probably not. I'll give an example. We already know, it's publicly come out, thanks to David Grush, that Lockheed Martin is one of the contractors that took over material of crash retrievals that have been reverse engineering it since 1947. All Lockheed has to say at that point is that we are a government contractor. We were directly contracted by the Central Intelligence Agency and the Department of Energy to do this research. They can't be held liable for other companies that may have failed for not getting the contract.
No, they're not going to be held liable. It would be the government who gave them access to this stuff and didn't equally share it with other contractors in that area. So that's where the SEC investigation and stuff comes into play, because they may have gone and, if you want to call it, crossed the line somewhere. But when you're technically at war with a non-human intelligence is really where we're at. Everything is fair when it comes to love and war.
But if you remember, when we were kids, there was an old saying that was very popular. You can't sue City Hall. Where that comes from is something called sovereign immunity. And Michael, who's here with us as an attorney,
but he's gone
is
now.
well aware that you cannot sue the federal government. So even if they did do something wrong and they did cause this type of financial chaos.
But Mike, there are so many judges out there that will sue the federal government and cause things to happen when they actually have no authority over it, but they still put it out there. We've been seeing this for the last year or so.
But we also know that as far as matters of national security, even the Supreme Court said that they will not rule on matters of national security.
Yeah.
So there are limitations as far as if this comes out, what can actually be done about it? Very little.
Not a lot.
And the one other aspect of government contracting, the one other, dirty, well-known secret is that a lot of times contracts are written specifically for a company so that no other, so that they can easily demonstrate, if challenged, that, company A does not have all of the qualifications that the solicitation requires, and company B does specifically have these qualifications. And so they seek out those littlest things that, are unique compared to everybody else in the space who would potentially be bidding on the contract. So again, it's a Herculean task to try and prove that level of
liability.
Yeah, exactly. And coercion between the government, between a government and the entity, because again, all those people are going to be gone and retired before it ever made those decisions. They're going to be gone and retired, and all you've got left is the paperwork to look at And you say, well, here is the requirement. This company met the requirement. That company didn't. This company met it better than that one.
Right. Plus, anything that's going to be under the Department of Energy has its own classifications that a lot of the, other than the national laboratory system, don't really have access to as a private company.
Right. Because with FOIA restrictions on that, Mike, if we're talking about FOIA restrictions, any kind of FOIA release that has to come from the Department of Energy requires the head of the DOE, the head of the CIA, and the president to sign off on any information coming out of the DOE, which basically shuts down anything that we could get out of them. But if it's driven from the president, who's in control, it actually may happen.
Well, here's how it may happen. He also said that he would declassify anything that Pete Hegseth finds in the government files. And once it's been declassified, then that is a different story. Now it opens it up to the court system. And if there is any government liability, now it's public knowledge, and they can then have to deal with this in court.
And all without the requirement of the UAP Disclosure Act, which created a lot more overhead, a lot more things in there to keep it out, because you had the civilian panel, or this panel of people would go there and recommend it. They'd bring it to the president, and the president had the ability to allow or not allow this stuff, kind of like what we're getting right now. But now we've got the president saying, we want all the stuff from all these departments to have everything. I can't wait to see what we're going to get from the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, where Grush used to work.
Oh, God, we know they're sitting on a ton of stuff.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah,
Are we really going to care about the prosecutions and stuff if we're on a spaceship to Tatooine? I'm just, we're out of here.
Yeah. Well, look, we know the intelligence agencies have had a hand in this since the formation back in 47 and the 1947 National Security Act being implemented. But whatever acts they committed to keep this a secret, even deaths like with James Forrestal, the first Secretary of Defense, that's going to be something that's a national security matter. And I don't think that there are going to be any heads that are going to roll. Besides, we're going back over 80 years. All of these people that were involved early on are probably all long dead by now. Don't you think? They're all gone. There's no one to punish left.
And Mike, if I could add on to that, I think it was big that when Dick Cheney died, I think it was last August. I think that changed a lot of things in this community that we don't necessarily see as the public, but a lot of things behind the scenes. So
well, it came out, Brian, that he was running directly the crash retrieval program.
Yeah,
Dick Cheney.
Hey, breaking, we have a picture of Marco Rubio on his way to go ahead and retrieve the alien files.
Oh, God.
They dress them up in all different kinds of costume. Great to see that they're going in and dressing up Marco these days. People out there have a sense of humor, but it shows. This person usually does everything on political things. It shows this situation of what Trump said has legs.
Yeah.
And by the way, Marco's ears, they are Spock-like, so I would... he may be related to some aliens as far as
I mean, heck, he looks like the guy who they thought, abducted that woman out of, Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Nancy Guthrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any alien implications to the Nancy Guthrie story at this time. But as far as Marco Rubio is concerned, he's not just the Secretary of State. He wears many hats in this administration. He's also the national security advisor for the president, which gives him a tremendous amount of power and authority to be aware of what it is that the government
and he's also the head of the National Archives.
He is. Right. So I have a sneaking suspicion that somebody very close to Trump at the moment is the one that's holding the keys to the candy store.
Yeah. Even
it's going to be interesting to see what comes out.
Even the relegated Nancy Mace is posting about saying tonight President Trump is directing full disclosure of UAP and UFO files. In October, I wrote to the DIDs, DOD, CIA, NSA, and DNI, not the DOE, demanding exactly that. The truth belongs to the American people. Everyone's lining up behind this, Mike.
Well, of course they are. What do you expect? And now as we're getting into the summer, and it's going to take from now that he made this announcement today, probably until the summer, for the government to have any information to disclose.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are going to jump on
Here
the
quickly,
bandwagon.
we've got a clip of John Fetterman, who was on Waters World, talking about what was going on when a statement from Trump came out. Let's see what
the Democrats have to say.
What the Democrats have to say.
Yeah, this
Do you believe there are UFOs and there's alien life?
Well,
outside?
I can't hear shit here, folks. Let me get this so I can hear this better. Because if the people in the back can hear it, fuck, I need to be able to hear it too. Let's get to this. Hold on. Loopback audio, turn that up. Brave browser all the way up. All right, here, let's play it again so I can hear this.
Do you believe there are UFOs and there's alien life outside?
No, I mean, I think what President Obama said, that the odds, because of how many trillions of planets and everything across the universe, I mean, I think life does exist, but how it could find us, or how you can explain some of those videos that, that's been released over the couple of years. So for me now, if President Trump is going to release everything, I think that's fantastic, because I think America, and the world would deserve if
Yeah, the president says he's going to have the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, release those, and that'll be nice to see. Do you believe there are UFOs and there's aliens?
Well, there we go. So John Fetterman is a little bit contained on that, but good to see what's going on. If there's anything else we've got here, the UAP Disclosure Act. Yes, we know you're still pushing that mat forward. It's dead at this point. I don't think we need it because we've got the truth coming forward. All right. President Trump. All right. Anything else here going on? Everyone is just, my entire feed on X is now talking
It's
about.
blowing up right now. Luna said she was glad because now the DOW will not be able to deny them their request for files or whatever. I guess it's because Pete is going to be looking into it, right? Do you think that's significant? And people are saying, "Oh, what about the DOE though?"
Well, the DOE is where all the dastardly stuff is held. If we're talking about just getting into, let's get back to here. If we're talking about researching the energy systems, the platform that creates it, that's all DOE. If you're talking about how the craft flies or how it does, if you want to call it, anti-gravitics, as they call it, just call it gravitational warp fields around a craft to go ahead and keep it out of our space, time, and time space, that actually probably goes along with the DOE. Again, I guess if you're looking at taking it and applying that into a craft and trying to build something out of it, maybe that goes to the DOD, but a lot of the different stuff with regards to the energy systems and how it's used, what it puts out, that all really ties in the Department of Energy. Patrick, your hand is up.
Yeah, one other thing I'd like to add to this was we started the week of Ramadan, and we also started Lent at the same time. This is a very, very huge week for people globally, and I am very interested to see how a lot of the religious organizations are going to handle this moving forward. We're looking at insurmountable information that's going to bring a lot of people into a point where they have to question what they truly believe. I'd like to see what everyone else thinks about this. I mean, this is huge because this brings the Bible into question, Genesis into question, everything that we know.
Well, that's just Christian. We have that. We have Muslim. We have Hindu. We have Buddhism. There's a bunch of other religions out there just beyond Christianity, and we just have to realize this and know that these particular non-human intelligences has dealt with a whole bunch of different types of humans over time that may have been misrepresented into different religions. Not, kind of call them that a little G gods, not saying there's not a big G God out there, but it's just kind of where we're at.
And this is, I mean, that's the thing, Thomas. If we look through the history of Hinduism and the Vimana, if we look at the Greek mythology eventually becoming Roman mythology, it's not far-fetched to think, why did these people look to the stars for their gods? We had the god of Mars, we had the war god, we had multiple things that came from the sky. And it wasn't a single deity. I mean, it would
or the things that there were battles in the sky that went over Germany back in the day, or Belgium, and then we had the stuff of the battles in the sky with fire clouds and everything that was documented in the Mahabharata in India. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there. If I could really quick, go ahead, Patrick.
Okay, real quick. This does tie into a prediction that Christopher Bledsoe had, Easter of 2026. There was going to be direct disclosure. The lady had told him, da-da-da-da-da. He backed away from it, I think out of fear or out of national security.
Because where he said the alignment of the planets or Regulus was going to come up at this one particular point, it was miscalculated. It wasn't going to happen in the spring. It's actually going to happen in the fall. So of course he's saying when this is going to go on and Regulus is going to come up, we're going to get this information from the non-human intelligence, which actually points us to fall.
He was closer though with his prediction time-wise, Thomas. I mean, he lined that thing up. Scarily close, because it's the Lenten season. He said Easter 2026.
I know, but then he pulled it back because his visualization of where the star Regulus was coming up was wrong.
We might find though, because as he had said,
that was the aliens coming and disclosing to us, not Trump going and doing it.
He had said disclosure was going to occur during the Easter season, which in Catholicism is the Lenten season. He did not specifically state that we were going to see the Regulus on Easter. He said that it would be complete disclosure when Regulus was at was it the nose of the Sphinx? Was that it?
No, it was going to rise over the Sphinx when you're looking out in a particular manner.
So that being said, that will still happen within the calendar year. So his prediction as far as the timeline is scarily accurate.
Yeah. As long as we don't have prophecies, we're all good on that one because those always go wrong. Gene, go ahead. And then I've got a clip here, another one of Brett Baer talking about this again on Fox News.
You know, when Patrick started talking about Bledsoe, whatever it was I was thinking, escaped my mind. Because I'll tell you, this is the thing. I know my eyes are going to be sore from rolling over the next couple of days with everybody trying to take their victory lap and demonstrating how they were the key. All right. And Bledsoe's going to do it, and he's going to come up with a narrative around what it was that he did. You know, I posted on X today and Jay interviewed me. That is obviously what led Trump to, behind the scenes. Everybody's going to want to take their victory lap in it. And they're going to try and massage the narrative to show how it was their hand. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point anymore. We've got what we've got in the path forward that has been laid out. And now we've got to, and now we've got to work with that. And I remember the point I was making, thinking of when you first started speaking, with all of these questions and the religious aspects and everything. I think, again, this is for us in the community. We're processing everything we want to see because we're knowledgeable about it. These are exactly the things that we should be looking externally now at, watching and looking exactly for those signals.
Right.
Do we see, whether it's from the Pope or in our local communities and institutions, do we start seeing these discussions happen? And most importantly, when we do, can we step up and be a thoughtful contributor, be a local leader, be responsible in bringing information and resources to people who are new to this.
Yeah.
As opposed to jamming it all down their throats when they, show up in one of these spaces.
You know, we just had a message from someone in the chat saying, yes, this has even hit Australian news at this point. And I have a feeling the statement of where we're at is going to go viral across all the different news medias that are out there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it already is. I mean, I've got alerts set up with Google Alerts. I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm closely watching the Russian news. I mean, it's we're coming up on early morning there. So, you know, particularly from the state media, to see if they have an article about what Obama said, but how they'll present what Trump says, and again, what the Kremlin's response will be. Will be fascinating tomorrow.
I can't wait to see what they're going to say in the UK and other countries across Europe and other areas, because, you know, those particular parts of the world have a huge amount of respect and love for Donald Trump and his policies.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get this next video clip coming to us from Fox News. Let's play it. Here we go. Latest from Twitter coming to us from UAP James. So let's play this clip. Here we go.
He surprised a lot of people by accusing former President Barack Obama of revealing classified information following his comments about the existence of extraterrestrial life. White House correspondent Aisha Hasni starts us off tonight live from the North Lawn. The president is accusing former President Barack Obama of revealing classified information when he told a podcaster aliens are real. Here's that Obama comment, and then President Trump responding to Peter Doocy today.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. Well, he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
That raised a lot of eyebrows today. What are you hearing?
It has, absolutely, Brett. So at least one Hill Republican tonight is telling me that he is reading this as the president all but confirming what Barack Obama said, that aliens are indeed real. So we followed up with the White House here. We asked them several questions. We wanted to know what part of Barack Obama's comments did the president feel were classified? Was it the part where he says that he believes in aliens, or was it the part that they were not in Area 51? They were also asked if the DOJ was going to look into these comments, perhaps because they were classified. The White House told us there's nothing to add to the president's comments tonight. Brett, all of this comes as the president's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, told a podcast this week that the president has a speech prepared about extraterrestrial life that he will give at the right time. Listen.
We've kind of asked my father-in-law about this. We all want to know about the UFOs, or we all want to know what's going on. And he played a little coy with us. I have just heard kind of around that, I think he's actually said, I think my father-in-law's actually said it, that there is some speech that he has that I guess at the right time, and I don't know when the right time is, he's going to break out and talk about, and it has to do with maybe some sort of extraterrestrial life.
And Brett, the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, you'll remember this week, was asked about Laura Trump's comments, and she said, a speech on aliens would be news to me, but we are expecting more reaction from the Hill in the coming hours and days. Brett.
Wow.
Obviously, we've done a lot of stories on this. The Age of Disclosure, that documentary that came out, we talked about that with the producer. A lot of people are interested in it. It definitely raised some eyebrows today. Aisha, thank you.
All right, just to go ahead and recap what President Trump said earlier today. There's a lot of people who just joined the show recently, up to 525 viewers. If you're watching the show, you're not a regular Disclosure tonight. We love you as a subscriber on this show. It's if you want to call it, a monumental day of the president coming out and acknowledging that aliens are real, that what former President Barack Obama has said was with regards to saying aliens are real, was a violation of national security, and it opened up the pathways for us to get where we're at today. Let me take down this chat off the stage for a second. Let's play this clip again. Here we go. Wait, no audio. Start again. Here we go.
Got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
Well,
he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
There we go, and we look into a little bit more. This is the statement that came out later today, based on over on Truth Social, were tweeted by the White House and many members of the president's staff over on X today. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing, the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, unidentified flying objects, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. What I want to go ahead and bring up on this, Mike, is that he's saying any and all related information. So, we've always heard about the DOD, and more importantly, our dear friend Susan Goff popping up from the DOD, always using the word extraterrestrial. But now we've got Trump saying any and all related to that. Does this take all the comments that have been brought out by Susan Goff and throw them under the bus? Because now they're saying it's not just that one particular thing, but opening it up to the full possibility that's out there.
Well, any and all information that the government has been hiding for over 80 years, if the government or Trump decides to declassify it, and it becomes public knowledge, it's not going to be limited by the language that Susan Goff has been keeping government representatives sticking to, like the word extraterrestrial.
Right.
Right. So that will now open the door that this could be something way beyond that. And if Trump declassifies it, then we're going to have more information than we've gotten before on this subject.
Really quickly, some in the audience said, first question, are we in danger? And all I can say is no more than in danger than we have been last week, last year, 100 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, right?
Right. You don't see, aliens having UAP fly all over the place.
They hide from us. They are flying everywhere. They have just put themselves in a way that we can't see it. Now, how did Lou kind of term that in the past when we've had some of our conversations, Mike?
He said,
Lou Elizondo, that is.
That, yes, I'm aware. He said that if we were able to clearly see the objects above us, like, the sensor systems that can detect them, but our eyes were able to see them the way that the sensors can. He said there are so many of these things over and above us that you would shit yourself. So there's a lot of these objects right over us that we can't see and we can't detect that are there with our naked eye.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos of stuff that's been recorded here, no more than 15 miles from here, just north of Seattle, over in the Woodinville area, where there have been UAP that have been trailing behind commercial airliners, 737s, heading towards Seattle-Tacoma Airport. And not that far behind them are craft. They're invisible. They're not showing on radar. And the only way you can see them is a camera that can see down to negative 60 degrees Celsius. And if you have a camera that can pick it up, there they are. But you can't see them any other way, which means these things are really everywhere. They're really going after so many different ways of life. And the question is, why would they be flying behind that, a craft like that? Because there's a wake in the radar that picks up that particular plane that's moving. And if they can take some of their movement and coordinate it along with different airliners that are out there, it ensures 100% that they will never be picked up, even including with some of the highest end technology that our military has.
Yeah, they won't be detected.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point. Right. Now, the question is, if he does declassify information, and the U.S. government officially acknowledges that we're not alone on this earth, there are objects, like President Obama had said,
many times,
that are in our skies ahead that operate in ways that we can't. And that becomes something that's publicly acknowledged. What would the NHI at that point do? Would they start to come forward and not hide the way that they have up until this point? See, it could be a triggering event that could have things that haven't happened before start happening. It's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah. That either that or they double down on their secrecy. I guess time's going to have to tell on this one.
Yeah, something that we're going to be watching very closely and reporting to the public on.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Can't wait to see where this is going to go next. Audience has picked up. God, we have more people now on the show than when we started before. Let's see what else we can go.
Because people are getting the knowledge that's all over social media. They see we're still on and live, and they want to see what they missed. They're coming in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I keep on recapping what's going on, and I honestly, it's gonna be pedal to the metal to try and cover some of this stuff as we move forward in time, versus seeing disclosure slowly dwindle and die like it has been over the last several months.
What months? If you remember, 2024 was practically completely dead.
Well, 2025 was worse.
It was bad, and in 2026 was off to a terrible start. So we haven't had really anything on disclosure since David Grush testified back in July 26th of 2023, going on 3 years in a dry spell.
Yeah.
So this has been long overdue, an announcement like this. Plus, you remember, we talked about this when Trump was running for re-election. He made campaign promises that he would be the disclosure president.
He said, yeah, I'd be happy. I bring that stuff out. That sounds something I like to bring out. But at least at this point, even right now, I have another tweet up here coming from the press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, saying, out of this world news from President Trump. Now, remember, this is the same person who was in the background here. Let me go ahead and just get back to, where was I at? Full video here. You can see her in the background as she's glowing because she's pregnant, but she doesn't look shocked or like, she's going ahead and like rolling her eyes or stuff. She looks happy that the president is actually talking about this.
Yeah. So that's because people on the inside are well aware of what the government knows and what it's been keeping secret from the public. So, of course, she's not surprised. Why would she be?
Well, thank God. It's about, we've been waiting for this ever since we had the first UAP task force going on. We've been looking for the truth. We've been wanting the government to go ahead and bring it out. But for some reason, they during the Biden administration, hint, hint, wink, wink, Democrats out there, they tried to put the genie back in the bottle. But now, the bottle's been opened and there's no turning back, I think.
Yeah, but as a reminder, even though Trump had made this statement today, nothing has officially been revealed to the public yet.
Yeah.
Nothing. No information. A promise of giving some information, but no actual information as of yet. So there's really
you mean turning back? You mean turning back to the time when we had Trump said, "Oh yeah, I'll release the information about the drones," and then he came back and said, "Well, I'm not allowed to talk about it."
Right. Yeah, we covered that as well. Every step of the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why people are disappointed. But that being said, this statement that he made today at least it gives the hope that potentially we might get something after all out of this administration.
Kind of like all the people who hope they get full service FSD, full service driving from Teslas, although they've been promising this for 10 years and they still haven't completely hit it yet. We're getting closer, but maybe we can get there with disclosure, and I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. That would definitely change things.
Yeah.
It's been too quiet for too long. We're long overdue on some positive information and news.
Yep. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, where did that one just go? Here we go. We have yet another post about Marco Rubio. I love how they keep on going after this guy. It's freaking hilarious. Let's get into it. Marco Rubio. Rubio realizing he's on the Stargate after Trump releases UFO files as far as the Stargate DVD set. Yes. Rubio's there and he's going to go ahead and take it. You know, I guess, Mike, do you think this is going to prompt other foreign governments or Gene or anybody to go ahead and start disclosing this stuff?
Well, let's hope this pokes Vladimir Putin's ego. And you know how he has to one-up everybody. Let's see if he decides to have Russia come forward with the information we know they've been working on alongside the same time the U.S. has. And Gene has firsthand knowledge of exactly the work that they were doing over there with his book, Engineering Infinity.
Yeah.
So we'd like to see maybe this will spur him to come forward with something. That
Even Matt Ford at the Good Trouble show is saying, holy fucking shit, Trump is going to disclose aliens and UFOs. UAP exist. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's about time.
Long overdue.
Yeah.
So
here we got Jeremy Corbell blaming, this is Peter Ducey's fault. No, let's thank Peter Ducey for asking all the questions that we've wanted to hear for the longest time.
Right.
Patrick, your hand is up as we go over the latest tweets on this.
Yeah, Mike, I don't think that this is something that can be avoided by the international conspiracy of the press. I think that no matter what country you live in at this point, whether it's Russia or China, they have no option anymore but to discuss what was just said. You have to remember, when Trump eats a hot dog from a different end, you're going to have the press all over him globally. So with something like this isn't something small.
I've never heard that statement before. Beat a hot dog from the other end.
Eat a hot dog.
I thought you said beat a hot dog.
If you want to beat a hot dog from the other end, go for it, Thomas. But no, it's too big to ignore. So right now I've got family that just landed in New
That's what she said, huh?
I've got family that's in New Zealand right now, and at 8:30 when this came out, I sent it to them, and my mother was just dumbfounded. Then I got a text from her saying, "It's on the news! It's on the news!" So if the fact that this is all over the place, that you can't put the genie back in the bottle. We've crossed the line that we can't back away from now. And while there may be delays, there certainly will be delays. This isn't going to go away. It can't go away now.
I think this has some more credibility than talking about the Nazca mummies, about Maria. Saying they're real. No, let's get to aliens are real. And these mummies, if anything, they're a former life. Well, actually, they're more like humans that were carved up to look like these things. Crazy times.
Yeah, it is. But we haven't gotten a shred of evidence or any direct information on disclosure yet.
No, not yet. But maybe it's going to be coming. There's a president, I can't wait to see when there's going to be signing of a presidential order to actually bring this out. He's going to do it because of the whole auto pen thing that happened before. He's going to show him signing this big thing, and he's going to bring it out and show the executive order to everybody. No, Damon, do you think Lou lost on this one, Mike? I don't think so.
No.
I think Lou won.
Yeah, he did.
Because he said big things are coming from Washington, D.C. Just wait. We've been working behind the scenes, working with the administration. It's happening.
Right. Yeah, he came on the show and told us that.
Yeah.
In the audience. Yeah, not that long ago.
Yeah.
It turns out that he was right.
Yeah.
So, no, Lou didn't lose on this. Lou was right on this. He told the truth. So people should see that for what it is. And there's more to come, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And,
And
I agree with Patrick. This is not going to go away. People are not going to forget what he said.
You know, when you talk about that, and it just again spurs my memories of that night, meeting with Lou, him saying that, and then other conversations I had around the end of last year, the end of the year, and him saying, there's stuff coming. Just it was a conversation basically about my frustration on real being part of the community. And he alluded to that idea as I think on it. He said, there's stuff coming. Just be patient. All of the garbage is, gonna weed itself out. All of the fake stuff's weeding itself out. Just stay the course. So yeah, I think there was probably a lot behind the scenes where we're not aware of that. Now that I think back on some of that, starting to make sense.
Oh, it does, and it just keeps on making more sense. Here we got a news clip coming from Newsmax.
That's the Mike Carter guy. That's the
yes, that's why I found it. I'm bringing it up. Thanks for bringing it to our attention, Daryl. Let's play this. This is a news clip from Newsmax, and Mike Carter is going to ask the question of Caroline Leavitt. Let's see how she smiles here. She may have already had an idea that the president was going to do this based on what we've seen on Air Force One. So let's play this clip. Make it a little bit larger for Leo. And here we go.
President Barack Obama, Caroline, was recently asked if aliens are real. He says they're real, but...
Look at the smile that automatically comes on her face. She's not smirking or rolling her eyes like we've had with a bunch of press secretaries in the point. She's engaging because she knows.
He hasn't seen them. The president's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, told Miranda Devine of the New York Post that the president has a prepared speech on this issue that he prepares to deliver at the right time. Is that true? And does the Trump administration believe aliens are real?
Well, a speech on aliens would be news to me. That sounds very exciting, though. I'll have to check in with our speech writing team. And that would be of great interest to me personally, and I'm sure all of you in this room, and apparently former President Obama, too. So we'll keep you posted on that.
Well, they did keep us posted, and we got the answer today. Let me go ahead and just get back to this and play this clip one more time. News does this all the time, so we're going to follow the same things they do over on CNN and Fox. Let's play this clip one more time of President Trump spilling the beans before he actually makes the statement saying, I'm going to declassify it all. Here he goes.
Barack Obama said, got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. Well, he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals. What else?
There we go. His statement is there. He's made it. You can't take it back at this point, can you, Mike?
No. There's no walking that statement back.
No.
So this is something that we've all been waiting for a long time, and I'm very curious to see where it goes, like everybody else says.
Oh, yeah. I think it goes towards what we were looking at years ago when we had the initial hearing from the UAP task force. And I have to say, Mike, although we got a lot of good stuff out of Grush from an overall hearing that gave us a lot of stuff from start to finish and gave us a platform to go from, that UAP task force hearing that we had many years ago was probably one of the best ones we've had, except for the one with Grush.
Oh, it was. Which is why when Jake Stratton releases his book, there should be information in there that I think would be very interesting, to say the least.
Oh, God, yeah.
Hey, Tom.
Especially now.
Yes, sir?
So if you're interested, I've got some of the Russian press, and so from the Russian state media, and it's interesting, their posts and feed are somewhat mocking. You know, Trump actually has an alien speech. It goes on. They say, all right, let me just run through. Hegseth throws up alien in support of UFO files. That he used the alien emoji. Just sort of comments on that. There's a couple more real quick. CIA faked flying saucers to cover 1954 Guatemalan coup. Most 1950s UFO sightings, U-2 spy planes. With U.S. Iran tensions and Trump declassifying UFO files, some old tricks just stick around.
So they're saying the stuff that happened over Washington, D.C. We had all those saucers, and we sent you some fighter jets up there, and they actually knocked off parts off these flying saucers. That was our U-2 spy plane.
So it's, you know, it's looking like they are, you know, setting this up. Putin's special envoy, Dmitriev, says maybe Obama is an alien.
Well, he does look a lot like Akhenaten. Let's just say that.
He does. But yeah, so far the response from the state media is mocking.
Yeah, they're making fun of it.
And setting up, again, you know, they're using that, you know, that it's a distraction.
Which we had a poll on that earlier today with regards to, is this a distraction to the Epstein files, or are they actually trying to bring out the truth? And overwhelmingly, it's like 70-30 split. Our audience went and said, no, this is about bringing out the truth, not about covering up the Epstein files, which a lot of Dems and people who don't like Trump are going to go down that pathway, and that's their prerogative.
Yeah, and it looks like that's the path Russia's decided to take for the time being.
Yeah. No, Jan had said, where is this at one? Everyone's joking about it. Kills me. Everyone's joking about it. You know, I had a team meeting today, and they said, hey, what's the big thing that's going on right now out there? And I said, personally, not anything to deal with work or anything. It's like, well, Obama said UFOs were real. And then Trump just said that Obama went and, if you want to call it, broke national security, released classified information, and he wasn't supposed to do it. And that basically ties in that aliens are real, coming from a former president and a real president. And I got a bunch of little icons of people crying and laughing and stuff like that. But later today, we get the statement from Trump that ties it into it. And you know, it's like the coup de grace, the perfect storm.
I like how you frame that, from a former president and a real president.
And our current president. Well, he was a president. I think he was a real president, hopefully. As much as Ilhan Omar is a real citizen. Ooh, dun dun dun.
Oh my God. You got to keep it in the family.
Oh, yeah. Keep it close. Oh, my God. I got to bring this one up. AI is getting out of hand. Where are we going, my friends? Let's bring it up. Encounter of the fourth kind. Oh, my goodness. Gotta love X for using AI and everything else. Holy cow. Oh, what a day. Yeah, we're not used to going this late, but when the audience is so great and everything, and I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, neither does Mike, we're set to rock and roll.
Right.
All right, here's the next one. Let's have some more fun. What's popping up on X? All right. Don't get distracted. But don't forget, the White House Director of Science and Technology, about 6 months ago, Michael Credo, said that the U.S. technologies can manipulate time and space, which would really align with the concept that we have figured out what's going on with some of these craft that we've recovered, where on the outside of the craft, it's 80 feet across. You go into the craft, and it's the size of a football stadium. You're in the craft for what feels like 15, 20 minutes, and you come out of the craft, and 4 hours has passed, right, Mike? So we're talking about a variance of space and time that these craft possess. Now, whether or not we have this stuff, maybe a schmuck just going ahead and talking over it, though, but I hate to say it, the statement was made.
Yeah, it was. And it demonstrates technology that operates outside of space and time.
Right.
And David Grush talked about extra-dimensional technology, which is how these objects are able to pop in and pop out anywhere at any time.
Now imagine you've got a craft that comes in from a different dimension, right? It pops into our time-space, our space-time. And when it's moving through our space-time, it's running at a different rate of space-time, meaning that we're all moving slow, right? And this thing's just booking around normal speeds, but to us, it feels like it's going supersonic, beyond supersonic speed, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 miles per hour. But inside the craft, they're just kind of taking their time. When they're done with what they're doing here on the planet, they pop out of our dimension back into theirs. And are they going in a loop time and time again? We've talked about the possibility of the situation where, what are those things called again? Where, we remember one thing, but it's actually different. Anybody?
The Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. Could the Mandela effect be a result of the non-human intelligence trying to modify our timeline?
That's an interesting
for whatever reason they have, because they can pop in from a dimension, do whatever they're going to do, move through our space, and then pop out of it, which means they can go in a loop time and time again.
Right, that's a good point. This technology is fascinating, and we'll see what starts to come out if Trump makes that announcement.
Well, he's made the announcement. Now it's about actually bringing the information out.
And what is it that you've always wanted to know, Thomas? Not about the nuts and bolts of the technology. What was it that you've said all this time about the UAP and the NHI? What are they doing?
What are they doing here? Flat out. Not, I don't care about the craft. I don't care about how the craft works. What are they doing here? We could say, why are they here? But the main reason is, what the fuck are they doing on our planet, in our timeline, interacting with humans? What's going on? And I think that, above and beyond everything, is what humanity deserves.
Oh, we have a right to know. They're here with us. Why? What's the point? What's the purpose? That is something that everybody has a right to know, because we're here and we've been subjected to their presence. So yeah, that would be something, I agree, that we would really need to find out what it's all about.
But maybe we've always been subject to their presence. We can look at humanity and say, how did humanity evolve like this so quickly? How have we gotten our technology so quickly? What brought us to this point? And it doesn't point to humanity and ingenuity. It points to an external source that's feeding us the information for whatever they need to go. And yes, Lou Elizondo and others have said many times, we are not at the top of the food chain, which means we're on the menu. Whether that's eating our emotions, eating our consciousness, our bodies, there's something there that they love about us. But I hate to say it, they've been fattening us up for a while for some reason. Is it for a harvest?
Well, look at the cattle mutilations that have been around for decades. That is something that is physical and can't be explained. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
What is that all about? Yeah, you raised very good points.
That's how we see
that's
it.
something people would want to know, yeah, because it's true.
Yep.
What the hell is this all about? What's really going on?
Gene, go ahead. I'll step away for a second. But yeah, interesting concepts, Mike. We want to know where the truth of this is and how it affects all of us from a day-to-day basis.
Well, what is it? Are we on a farm or is it a zoo? Good question. Go ahead, Gene.
Yeah, so I was just going to say piece of news and an interesting tidbit. So the George Knapp has posted.
Okay.
He said, well, let's see where this leads. Even with inevitable redactions or the withholding of documents by intel agencies and non-compliance by contractors, a presidential directive to release UFO files is a big deal. And interesting caveat, he stopped following me, I just noticed. He used to follow me. I don't know why he doesn't follow me anymore.
Well, you could always have Lou make a phone call and you could find out pretty quickly if you wanted, Gene.
No, that's okay. I'll just live with the heartache. I'll live with the satisfaction of that he got tired of seeing me post about him and his exploits.
You know, Gene, maybe it says how accurate what you've been talking about really is, and maybe he doesn't want to have the egg on the face, and that would be the only reason he'd unfollow you.
Yeah,
it's not like you've been attacking him or anything. You've just been trying to bring out the facts. And my God, you have been hitting the ball out of the park with your frickin' articles day after day.
Thanks. And there's two more coming tomorrow. Well, actually, yeah, two more tomorrow, and then there'll be one on Sunday.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, it's not. I don't see it as a criticism of him, as a person or a professional, but it's laying out the more likely scenario than the story that's been sold to us.
Yeah, but Gene, you have pointed out publicly on more than one occasion that he's not exactly an investigative journalist.
No.
So there has been, and you make valid points about that. But that could be one of the reasons that he decided to unfollow you.
Well, and there's a, if you look at even Corbell's posted, it's kind of a little bit of a lack of enthusiasm. You can kind of read into this that they weren't the ones who got to break the story, and it's like I said, they're the worst thing in the world for a lot of these guys because they're going to find themselves on the outside.
Right.
Absolutely. Before we get to bringing Patrick up on this one, another piece that just came up coming from Open Source Intel, an OSINT person that I watch on X all the time, who's been giving us great information with regards to what's going on over in Iran and the military buildup that's going on there. It just shows that even people who are outside of the whole UFOs, if you want to call it, community, are dialing in on this one.
Yeah, that account you just mentioned, I follow it as well. And they are very good at reporting on the U.S.'s military.
Oh, God, yeah.
Actions that go on. Yeah, I know. It's good information. Up to date.
Yeah. Well, if
we're covering the statement by Trump today, that is really interesting.
It's legendary. But really quick, if I could just go ahead and ask the people, we take a look at this. We have 513 people watching the show right now, only 257 likes. If you're having a good time, do us a favor, folks, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to Disclosure tonight, we've broken over. We're back to 17,500 people again. Give us a subscribe. I will do my best, and we'll do our best to bring you the latest news on Disclosure, because that's what we try to do, even in dead times. And sometimes we'll talk about what's going on in other countries like Canada, United Kingdom, things that are going on that are affecting the people, like the attack on free speech. We try to cover a lot of things, but today it's truly Disclosure, eh, Mike?
Oh, my God, yeah. Today is definitely back to Disclosure again after all this time.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mm-hmm. A good point. But we got to see where it goes.
Oh, it all gets to that point. I'm just keep on going. And everything on X that I'm going through today, everyone just keeps on bringing up what the president is saying. Is just like person after person. Everyone is just focusing on this particular situation because it's iconic. It's original. This is the first time we've had a president go ahead and said, yes, this is out there. I want to bring out the truth.
Yeah. Publicly, while in office, not waiting until after they're out of office, like former President Barack Obama did.
At least Obama was able to goat Trump to bring this out. But you know what? We have to look at this. And I'm going to go ahead and find where in the hell is that at. Let's go ahead and do a survey on this. No, I don't want to do that. I want to start a poll. Now I'm going to say, was the Obama/Trump UFO disclosure plan? Meaning, was this an operation, Mike? That was put in place by the government to give us disclosure one way or the other? Meaning, did they coordinate? Did they say, Obama, say this first, Trump will come in and follow it up with it? Let me go ahead and bring this up here really quick. All right, here we go from our audience. If you look at this, Mike, let me go ahead and get that there. Let me go ahead and find some sound effects that I can go ahead and play. All right, where is our audience going to take us? Hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds, including Daryl.
1 minute and 30 seconds. And we're starting now.
There we go. Look at this, Mike, and everybody in the back. 70% of our audience, almost a 70-30 split of our audience, thinks this was planned.
Yeah.
What's your thought on this one? Was it just something that happened naturally? Or is this something that actually was a planned way to bring disclosure to the people? Because you know what? We've said it so many times. There's probably have been agreements with the non-human intelligence. We were supposed to bring out the truth by a certain date, and we haven't done it, and now we're doing our housekeeping.
Well, you and I have talked about this since this started, and you and I are well aware of that former President Obama was given those questions in the lightning round ahead of time before he did the interview.
Bingo.
So he knew what was coming, and he knew what to say. So obviously, this didn't happen at random or by accident.
So we could say there's potentially some collusion going on, and that's where 65% of our audience is pushing it right now.
The audience is right.
Yeah.
I agree with that, yeah.
You haven't been able to say the word collusion for a while.
It's a good word.
Yeah. But that's where we're at with just 4 seconds left and 97 votes in. We're going to go ahead and call this as a close. Yeah, we like doing rapid surveys and not leaving them up there for the entire audience. So we go ahead and end the poll. Our final results are 65% of our audience says that. Was the Obama-Trump UFO disclosure planned? Yes. Overwhelmingly by almost 2-1 in our audience. I think we're there. Gene, how would you say this is? Would you align with that? I guess not.
Well, yeah, but I want to substitute the word collusion, and let's say, for a better word, let's say bipartisan. This could have been a bipartisan effort on this subject from both presidents, which is about time.
Yeah. Well, haven't they been saying forever that disclosure is bipartisan? Although we've had everyone who's in the Secrets Task Force have been Republican for the most part, and they've only had Republicans going towards it. We've heard Tim Burchett say many times, and everybody, even Lou Elizondo, saying this is a bipartisan effort. But we don't see it in Washington, but in reality, this affects everybody equally.
It does. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you fall on. This is something that affects humanity as a whole. So it's not political. It shouldn't be. people wanting to get to the truth, which is where the bipartisanship comes from.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I was sorry about that. I took a quick break. When
we all run to the library sometime here and there, Gene. I've got a worse bladder than you do.
when this started tonight, I was in my Jeep, and I had just come back. I got Chinese food for dinner, and so I finally just went and ate. So I had some chicken fingers, and halfway down eating as you called on me the last time. But was it planned? Was it collusion? I always say nothing happens in isolation when it comes to politics in DC.
Yeah, especially with in terms of national security.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
I said, Gene, that we should refer to it more as bipartisanship on this subject.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Patrick, you got something?
Gene, I wanted to touch on something that you mentioned. I have a quick question for you as well. When did you notice that you were unfollowed?
Oh, just now when I looked at the account.
Okay, so that's something that I had mentioned earlier, and we kind of discussed this in the beginning when Thomas and Mike were around. You weren't on yet. I don't like collusion is okay. I mean, we could say that, but it planned, yes, certainly planned to disclose this. I would say that a process started probably about 7 months ago, where I started to realize that people that I was on a weekly conversation basis with or a bi-weekly conversation with stopped. And that was when I knew something was up. It was when we went silent about the drone stuff, and there was a lot of disheartened people with what happened in Congress as far as things being pushed out. As I had said earlier, the fruit withered on the vine. But it was at that point that I realized, and someone had made mention to me, that there is something else that's brewing deep with under that's going to surpass, be it executive order or executive command to declassify information. And we saw a big vacuum with the media at that point, but I saw the same thing. Without naming names, people that had sat in front of Congress that I'm personal friends with stopped answering questions. I keep a very, very small footprint online, with the exception of this show when I drop in once in a while, and I never speak of this stuff because people draw certain conclusions and they won't listen to other things that you say. I mean, especially if you have other important things to say. You certainly know this. I'm barking up a tree, but to the audience in large, there was a change that occurred after this got pushed out of Congress by the multiple mics, as I like to refer to them. That we realized there were people that had interest to continue pushing this that were more powerful than the military-industrial complex that has held us under their thumb for a long time. We entered into a new world of media in, I would say, probably 2022, when we started to see alternative media to really start to carry the weight of this. We saw people like Theo Vaughn taking interviews with now Vice President J.D. Vance, who was very, very adamant about pushing this. 7 months ago, that went silent. I don't know if something was said to these people. I don't know what happened to why there was distance that was created between myself and a lot of my contacts. As I had spoken with Thomas in private conversations a few months ago, I had been made aware of things that were coming. A few weeks ago, I was made aware of things that were coming, and I doubted things myself. I don't want anyone to think that is working hard on this, such as yourself. And Gene, you have, honestly, the information that you've gathered over the years from your father-in-law is just insane. I mean, it's better information that's been posed to the public than anything else that we've seen from David Grush or George Knapp, mainly because they have handcuffs on. There's only a certain amount of things that within their purview that they can say without being pushed out of the media circles. And that's kind of what happened to people like myself and you, where the legitimate sources that had inside knowledge were a threat to the public at large, to the national security. So I don't think that the people that were distancing themselves from you or myself were doing it because of anything that we said that was crazy. I'm sorry, my hand's shaking. This is an insane night. But no, it happened as well. I stopped getting text messages from people, and it hurt a lot. And tonight, as I'm sitting here, my phone has been buzzing off the hook. When I take the hour break to put kids to bed, I heard from people that I haven't heard from in over half a year. And it made me very happy because it answered the question of, we were right, Gene. We were right 100%.
Yeah, I agree. And I often think that, it has said there's, engagement, I found, or the lack of engagement in certain ways, in certain areas, even during at the James Fox DC event, I met Burleson and shook his hand. And when I said my name, I could see in his face, like he was worried I was going to trap him in a conversation. And again, I had a similar read on that same thing. Things that were dropped and said, and again, now sort of seems, you look at it in a different light. So, my thing was just, I'm continuing on with what I'm doing. Like I said, I've already scheduled posts that are going to go out over the weekend, and there's no reason to change any of those. I'm going to continue on in my mission and breaking down the things the way I do. And if there's something of value for them to take, if this now opens up an opportunity for people to have discussions privately or publicly, happy to do that. I had a conversation, Gary Nolan on, online, half hour, gave him a data dump. It was fantastic. And, and that's it. I'm not looking to chase anybody or, interject myself where I don't need to be. I don't want to make a job for myself in any of this. But, I want the right people to see what I'm finding.
I was a bit upset. I'm not going to deny it. When friends of mine that have been friends of mine for decades that finally decided to roll out cut me off faster than anything. I'm at a loss of words for it. I try not to ever offend anybody, especially people that help me out with what I like to do. And it was a clear mark that something had happened. It was David Grush. I got cut off faster than, and it pissed me off because we'd been friends for a few years, and it was silence. It was absolute radio silence, and I found that across the board. So something happened when this plan started to get rolling, which I think that it incorporated not only this recent speech on the airplane with Peter Doocy, but I also believe that the timing of the Epstein files had a lot to do with it. We discussed it earlier that I believe there's over 9 million files that were held by the Federal Bureau of Investigations. We have 6.5 million currently. Currently, none of them have any emails that mention any lawsuits, any discussion with attorneys or anything. So we know that there's a lot of emails that were missing. Something happened 7 months ago, whether it was a whitewash to get rid of a lot of that information, whether it was the plan for this, I don't know what it was. I remember shortly after I came back from Boston, I reached out to you. I said, "Oh man, I should have gotten a hold of you." That was the weekend that I got shut down when I was.
Well, there you go. Because if we go back timelines, and I'll take a victory lap on this one. If we go back timelines, it's February 19th. I've been involved in this community for 8 months and 8 days today. So there you go.
That's awesome, Gene. And it's been a wonderful ride having you around here. You've been on the show for almost 8 months, I'd have to say. You came on right shortly after Mike had actually found you, right after you brought out Engineering Infinity, where no one else was paying attention to you. We saw what you had. We brought you on, and you sent us a PDF as we had that initial interview with you, and it was groundbreaking, to say the least. And you keep on adding to it since the last 8 months and 8 days, every single day, where we've got 2 articles coming out tomorrow, another one on Saturday, that keeps on driving home that yes, not just the U.S., United States of America, has been going and researching what's going on with UFOs. Russia has, and you've got basically a diary of someone who was an engineer going through this, doing illustrations and diagrams, trying to figure this stuff out, and he sent you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if it wasn't days, it was within the week that Mike, got the materials and brought me on.
Yeah.
And listen, from particularly since October when I popped in with Lou, I get shit in other spaces for being on here. People that say it, impacts my credibility. Who aren't fans of yourself and Mike, and and I've said it in those forums. I've said it here. that, you know, I appreciate that you know, number one, I love this forum. I love the format.
Thank you.
I've met so many great people through this. You know, you have been very gracious and generous with your forum and platforming me.
Right.
You know, and the work stands on its own. And if, you know, people don't think it's credible because they don't like you, then I can't, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm happy to speak with anybody who is an interest in it. I'm happy to speak with anyone who wants to have a thoughtful conversation about it. I think, you know, you've seen it. I've shared spaces with Tupac. I've shared spaces with RPK. I think they're brilliant in their own ways. You know, I'm on a mission.
Yeah. I think we both are. We want to bring out the truth, don't we? We want to hit the ball out of the park. We want to be able to bring stuff to people to let them see what's going on. More importantly, open their minds to what's been going on around us. But it's been out of our purview.
Yeah. And we've got to keep the conversations flowing.
Wait, Nick.
You know, no matter what.
Yes.
Yeah, Gene, I could just make a quick point.
Yeah.
You're friends with Lou. You know him very well. You know he's a good person. But those people that you mentioned that you have talked to, they have an outright hatred of him. And anybody that is associated or friends with him is their enemy. So they'll tell you have zero credibility because Lou is a good friend.
And they'll act like your friend for a period of time like they did with Rick, and then when they have enough, they'll just come out daggers flying.
Stab him right in the back.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you want to get to both sides, if you want to get with the people who agree with Lou and get with the people who agree with Greer and the others, sometimes you have to cross those battles, right, Gene? You don't want to, but if you want to get to the whole audience of everybody, you have to do the devil's dance sometimes.
Yeah, you know, it's just a matter of, again, letting the work I'm doing stand on 's own merits, sharing it, and engaging in respectful conversation with you know, anybody that wants to stay focused on those topics. I'm always happy to do.
Yeah, we appreciate your participation. Really quick, Nick, I'll call on you. We appreciate your participation and bringing this up. You know, there's a bunch of people that are, you know, haters will hate. And I've known this since I've been a kid. I'm not quite the person who fits the mold. I'm used to people hating on me for just being me. So, you know what? As my grandmother taught me when I was like 4 years old, let it go in one ear and out the other. Don't let it bounce around and cause a problem in your mind. On that note, let's go ahead and bring Nick in. Nick, are very excited. You've got something you want to bring forward. Go ahead.
Like, do you think that Trump is gonna, like, he's announcing this to help Wall Street? You think, Thomas? Because there's like speculation that Wall Street wants this technology also, and they don't have access to it. But like, I kind of want this technology. Like, do you think that Wall Street is kind of the ones pushing Trump on technology? You think? Okay,
I brought this up early. If he does declassify it, right?
Yes.
This declassifies an entire category of science that's been locked away by the DOD, Department of Energy, for 80 years or longer, because we could be going back to Magenta, which was like 33 or 34. 33. So you have this technology that's been there that no one's been able to figure out. Do you think, Nick, this could be as Trump would call it, the golden age of technological advancement, opening up all these things to try and help figure it out and move the United States and the world forward?
I think it's for the money aspect, Thomas. I think many of these people want more money. So they must have the technology for the alien tech.
But how could you maybe create technology that reduces a lot of money that people have to spend on things they're spending on right now? Granted, there's the people, the rich, greedy corporations that I don't think even Trump will align with, want to go ahead and get this tech. He might, but the thing is, if we can open it up it can take overall humanity, not just in the United States, but around the world, and lift us up in a way and disconnect us from a lot of the, things that our current economies and way of life all go towards, which actually even oh God, I'm going to say this, but I'm going to be sick. Well, it'll go ahead and even get into some of the socialist and communist ideas, because a lot of the energy systems and different things that make all the world go around could go away if we have figured it out. But I think the problem is, Nick, we've been inspired by some of this tech, but we haven't really figured it out for what the full potential is.
That's true. Did you see a tweet from Russia's investment fund? The CEO tweeted something about the UFO. Did you see that?
Gene? Which one is it?
If Russia's investment fund,
Can you share a link in the back and we'll bring it up?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I tweeted
the only thing that Gene has seen coming out of the Russian political party on this so far
has been pushback.
Has been them making fun of it, yeah.
All right, so let's bring it up. Let's close this down now that I have it. Let me go ahead and find Brave, because I need a browser that I can deal with. Let's get back to desktop with Thomas. All right, we got it. Here is the statement from Trump. Let's go ahead and replace it with what Nick is saying. This is coming from Kirill Dmitriev. As predicted, aliens for this season's grand finale. Maybe Obama is one, along with EU and UK leadership, that would explain the work to undermine Western civilizations from within. Hate to say it, but this sounds like a Russian troll who's against the United States and everybody else who's fighting across in Ukraine. Gene or Mike, your thoughts? I think we lost Gene.
More Russian propaganda, in my opinion, Thomas.
Yeah.
Do you think Russia will admit to anything, Thomas?
Well, let me let Gene answer that first. Gene, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, it's consistent with what was coming out in the state media. So they've, established what the party line is going to be. So no, I wouldn't expect that we're going to see anything come out immediately. Again, perhaps in the future, perhaps once they see, under the U.S. skirt what we're talking about and what we're going to release. But as of right now, the first reaction is they're just going to stay with the status quo. And the real challenge is with the media. There's nobody who's going to push Putin or the Kremlin,
right,
and say, well, what about these things this George Knapp brought out in the U.S. and they'll just deny.
All right, let's take a look and see where the Russian trolls took this, because there are 82 responses on this so far on X. And the first one is possibility for sure, showing Obama's an alien. Check your spell checker. Crazy Belgian without AS, please. All right, the UK is absolute hell. If their truly evil crimes against humanity ever get fully exposed, it'll make the Epstein files, Wiener's laptop, and the Hunter Biden laptop from hell look like minor leagues. Big Mike, a Sasquatch, prove me wrong. Yes, a Nephilim from someone else who believes in ancient alien theory. Wow, from MAGA Mom. Anything to distract from the Epstein files from Heart of Stone. Shiny says, you get it, bro, you're a legend. Zero Signal. Expect nothing less than cheap propaganda from the redundant Russian apes who, like the rest of all human livestock, are being harvested and replaced on this planet. Carry on, Krill. Go pray for something else to make the pain away. So that's really calling out the Russian trolls.
Maybe I'll just, maybe I'll just open the door and I'll share the engineering infinity stuff there.
Yeah.
See how that flies.
Oh, yeah. So it's just fun to see the stuff that's out there, and people there's both sides of the fence, but you'll always get the trolls that are that are getting paid to go ahead and push that propaganda line. But on this one, it seems there's less people in favor than against. That means he's probably not a state account.
No, probably not, but still still close. Still
Oh,
close
yeah.
to the criminal adjacent.
Still pushing the party line, Gene.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that about wraps it. Wait, nothing from Timber Chat. Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. Yeah. Welcome to Great Show, folks. Happy Thursday. We did 3 hours on Thursday. I think we'll come back tomorrow, recap on this, but it's been one heck of a show. 472 people still watching. Thank you for being a part of the show. If you had a good time for what we're trying to do here, I try to do it, 3 days a week on Monday, Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we'll also do Saturday for our friends across the pond in the United Kingdom and in Europe at 2 p.m. Pacific or 10 p.m. It's disclosure today, my friends, for our friends in the UK. On that note, I want to thank everybody for coming out to the show tonight. Jane, thank you for being a part of the conversation.
Thank you once again. It was as I've said, a wonderful night, a historic night, and more great people to share it with, and we'll all say we remember when.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe, everybody. We'd love to have you back here on a regular basis. Mike, thank you for coming back. It's great to have you around.
Oh, my pleasure. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, one hell of a show tonight.
Yeah.
This is some announcement.
Yeah, that's when I saw that it happened. I was on that space with Gene as soon as I saw it. I had to just say, I need a fucking title card. We need to figure this out. We have to go ahead and do it because it's time. We said we'll be back when there's disclosure. And yeah, I figured out a place. I found a picture of Trump to throw in there, but it's appropriate because, we work hard for this. We want the truth to come out.
No, you're right. And we're going to see where this goes. Tomorrow will be interesting if we have any updates to share with the audience.
No, we'll find something to go ahead, recap, talk about stuff, and get where the audience is and how they, they've had a day to think about it. Where are we going to go next? That's the real question. Can you use this to ignite people's interest in it?
Yeah, the general public.
Yeah, exactly. I also want to go ahead and thank everybody for your wonderful super chats tonight. I had some great support from everybody. Let me go ahead and thank everybody who's out there. Did I lose it? No, wrong one. Let's go ahead and who gave us the super chats? All right, let's go ahead and thank us. I got reverb again earlier tonight. Sorry about that if that's going on. Strider 1. Brendan England, thank you very much. Great news, great show. Cheers, Thomas and Mike. 82 Jay Bruder, new subscriber to the show. I'm an Eastern Orthodox. My church teaches this. Garden of Eden, snake, serpent, reptilian. We'll see where that goes. Another one. I'm Eastern Orthodox. We teach this stuff. Wonderful. Thank you. We're always learning things. Pre-death lobby, great coverage as usual, guys. Let's go UFO. Absolutely, that's where we're all at. DEFCON 1 Sky King, thank you for the super chat. Brian Pemble, Anonymous Rex, Mr. Catfish, and of course Daryl is here. What a great night, everybody. Thank you for coming out to the night show. And as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everybody, but... Well, wrong one, but it's appropriate. Talk to everybody soon. Talk to you soon, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.